start properly. But now I have. And now I'm going to load up my stream. I'm going to make sure that we're all good. Because I don't want this to be the worst thing ever. Oh no, it's really bad. Huh. Let me
Might need to delay the Playday.
Might need to. I've stopped streaming for right now. Uh-oh. Okay, clap, 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 clap. Okay, so if I'm not streaming over Discord, it's fine. Give me a second. Maybe my stream over Discord is 1080p at 60 FPS. Yeah, I don't need to do that high. Let's cut that down, set that up, and then double check to make sure that that was the issue. Because obviously, streaming 2 1080p streams is a lot. Clap, clap. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. Shit. So, I'm going to reintroduce the Playday slightly for the sake of the VOD after some minor technical issues. But, TLDR, right now, I'm panicking. I'm all full on panicking, apparently. Stop doing this. There we go. Okay, so, Grand Slam Galaxy Playday 6. Right now, the Monsters and the Flowers sit at 4-1, with the Monsters and Flowers being also two of only 3 teams in the league to have a positive run differential. So, we're looking at these 2 teams to be dominant coming out of the first 5 Playdays. Lawn Eggs and the Monarchs. They're both 3-2, both with negative run differentials. The Lawn Eggs being the last undefeated team, but now after 2 devastating losses aren't looking good. The Monarchs in kind of the other situation. They lost their first 2 games, but now on a 3-game winning streak, and while they haven't been big wins, it'll be interesting to see how they play out. Below that, the Scrambled Eggs, the Wilds, and the Infernos, all sitting at a 2-3 win record, the Scrambled Eggs being the only other team in the league with a positive run differential right now. Very, very tight race between the 3 teams. All 3 of them we look at and we go, shouldn't you be doing better than this? You're a pretty good team. So, it'll be tight because the real scary thing for all these teams is that 8th place team, the Revenge. 0-5, but still a better run differential than 3 other teams in this league because they have been so good and just haven't managed to clinch it home yet. However, they'll have a chance to, as they will be the 4th game in this Playday. We will be starting off with the Monsters, the top seed, playing against the Infernos in 7th. The Infernos, with home field advantage, have chosen to take us to DK Jungle. Our second game of the day will be the Flowers versus the Scrambled Eggs. The Flowers, with that 4-1, will really want this win so they continue to stand not alone at the top of the scoreboard, but very, very high on it. Second only to the Monsters. The Scrambled Eggs, however, needing a win to break into that 500 win percentage, have chosen to take us to Yoshi Park for their home field advantage. Third game of the day, the Lawn Eggs versus the Monarchs. The 2, 3, and 2 teams. One of them will stand. Well, they won't be able to get up to second because of run differential, but one of them will stand alone in that 3rd place slot after this Playday, basically no matter what. And the Monarchs have home field advantage coming off of a 3-game winning streak. They've chosen to go back to Daisy Cruiser, which has turned out to be kind of a comfort pick for this team. Our last game for the day is the one that we will be the most hyped up to see, the Wilds versus the Revenge. Both teams, which we've said, are really good and have just had a bit of a struggle to start their season. The Wilds are the one with home field advantage, and, well, the 2 Kong teams will be battling it out on DK Jungle. Silver Lily, welcome back, by the way, since your welcome back won't be in the VOD anymore. But what storylines do you want to highlight before we start this Playday?
Well, okay, I had talked before about that last game. before the VOD had to be cut off and restarted. The Revenge versus the Wilds. The Wilds being the reason the Diddy Kong's Revenge are called the Diddy Kong's Revenge, after Diddy Kong was spurned by the team early into the last season for messing with their pitching and outfielding performances. Diddy Kong put together a squad just to take down Donkey Kong for that last game. Has a little bit higher ambitions than that these days, but a winless Revenge going up against the Wilds when they're already a very threatening team, I would be terrified if I was those Wilds.
Well,
Otherwise, our other big game of the day, my personal pick, is probably going to be those Rotten Eggs and Monarchs that you pointed out, with the Rotten Eggs star seeming to fall and the Monarchs rising as fast as they can. I think that's going to be the other big game to watch. Can the Rotten Eggs stop their slump, or are the Monarchs going to become even more meteoric?
well, we'll see. We'll cover the Ron Eggs and Infernos have actually made a trade, which is the big trade heading into this Playday, and we'll cover that right now as we load in, or tune in, to game number 1 of the Monsters versus the Infernos. Did I say the Ron Eggs and the Marks? The Ron Eggs and the Infernos have made a big trade. You'll notice a new fresh face on this Infernos roster. Mario, after an excellent start to his season, has swapped over to the Infernos roster. You'll notice that they're missing that fire hitting potential of Fire Bro, who will now find himself on the Rotten Eggs. Silver Lily, what can you tell me about the attitude of the Infernos coming into this Playday, about the attitude of this team with its new star level player of Mario, and maybe any insight that you have into this new look Infernos?
So, the Infernos have always been a bit of a chaotic team. If you think about small ball teams in the league, you're really looking at 2, maybe 3 teams. The Infernos, the Revenge, and depending on how you look at it, maybe the Flowers. But the Flowers do have that big hitter in King K. Rool who's been scoring a lot for them. Not to say those other 2 teams don't, but generally they rely less on slugging in order to score their points. Fire Bro is an amazing slugger, but one of the worst slap batters in the league. In terms of weaker contact hits, Fire Bro is just as weak as a literal baby, that baby being Baby Luigi. And for this Infernos team, who just tries to keep up consistent pressure, Fire Bro, a player that we have always noted as being able to single-handedly carry teams or just not show up, depending on how he was feeling that day. The Monarchs lived and died based on Fire Bro's performance. For the Infernos, they've said, we just can't risk that. We need a player that performs well in these clutch situations. A player who, when they already have 2 strikes, doesn't feel like a guaranteed out on the 3rd whether or not they hit the ball. We need a player that isn't staking most of their spot on the team on an infield performance that is getting outdone by their counterpart over at second base on by Shy Guy. Stuttered my way through that one. Fire Bro was not that player, but Mario, very flexible player with star power, makes good solid contact, and crucially for the Infernos, has pitching power. Not a top pitcher in the league, but someone who can absolutely pitch and pitch for a good amount of time, while still being a more guaranteed person to take the mound than most of the other decent pitchers on the Infernos, so ultimately causing less internal chaos when they need to swap somebody up to that mound.
It has been a noted problem for the Infernos that when those scorer lines start going higher, where their pitching staff turns to tends to be a little bit more chaotic. Mario, as a excellent starter pitcher for the Ron Eggs so far this season, will look to plug that gap. Over on the Monster side, they're still a 4-1 team. Their only loss so far having been to the Rotten Eggs, and they're looking to strike out to an even more dominant position in this season. They haven't made any changes to the roster, but we did actually catch up to their coach for an interview in between these two playdays. We actually asked, the manager of this team, that they've been looking like a top 2 team since the jump, and whether they believe that the first 5 playdays have been a hot start or just a sign of dominance to come. The manager's response, quote, "For the Monsters, it's been a hot start, but I think there's some improvements the team can make. Definitely it's been a little inconsistent, but they've at least been able to score consistently on the offense. I do want to give Goomba his flowers. He's been a better player than I expected, especially batting." Goomba being the defensive coordinator for the Monsters last season, and we'll see whether he's able to turn this team around defensively, or whether that little bit of inconsistency can come from him as a player, as opposed to on that coaching role. In the meantime, well, it seems like the Monsters don't have a lot to worry about, at least so far on the standings, but can the Infernos punch their second big loss as the Infernos will look to climb up that leaderboard? Any highlights that you want to bring out before we start this game?
Well, I would personally be keeping an eye, as the Inferno's home commentator, always keep your eye on Shy Guy. Shy Guy has been an absolute star of the team lately, with good offensive performances and amazing defensive performances. Reliable player, consistent player. Maybe not ever the MVP, but always worth a watch.
We'll have to see how Shy Guy and the rest of the Infernos perform as they face perhaps their toughest opponent yet so far in Season 2. The Monsters take on the Infernos as we head into this first game of Playday number 6. I'm curious to see also how DK Jungle treats the Infernos as a more small ball team, like you've reminded us, considering that it's well, at nighttime it can be a little bit of a more chaotic stadium if those earthquakes come at the wrong time.
Big hit by Goomba. They have the shell to try and break it up, but even with the flower, it just will not matter in time. Strawberry keeps hold of it long enough to get the out.
Yeah, it looks like the Monsters might have a little bit of a struggle to get their offense going as Koopa also quickly grounds out, and Paratroopa is, well, a pretty good slap hitter. But I do wonder whether the Infernos, as a more small ball focused team, will be able to counter these small ball hitters on the Monsters. They've done so excellently in the first inning with a quick 3-up, 3-out defensively.
Otis immediately trying to stake her claim in that shortstop position, contributing to 2 of the outs on the inning, one of which was a diving catch.
You know, it'll be interesting to see how Otis performs. I'm actually a little bit... I don't want to say that I'm down on... Oh, wait, Shy Guy with a good single. Earthquake knocks out Koopa. But no, Shy Guy will only take the single. Okay. I'm a little bit down on Jersey players in those second base shortstop positions. I always keep one eyebrow raised whenever they make a play, but you're right. Otis has performed pretty well so far. It's only inning 1, though.
It is only inning 1. Captain Dante going for a charge hit here. The bananas will not be enough to disrupt the catch from Paratroopa, and somebody's got to pass off the controller. Dante has not been doing well on offense.
It's weird. You know, you look at these Jersey players and you look for a little bit more consistency. as Mario hits it high and far. The boom
Are
might
the
actually...
roots going to throw them off? Instead, it will force the buddy jump. We often see that with those roots, is that long ball hits out to those roots will force a buddy jump even though it is staying inside the park, because the players just don't want to have to deal with the tangle.
I mean, I don't know. There are bugs back there. I wouldn't want to mess with it either. You see those kicks on Koopa? You don't want to get dirt on that.
Why is he taking him to play baseball?
Because he's just that goddamn cool. A good slap from Strawberry. Shy Guy will reach third. So it's a little bit of an awkward position. We've seen this pretty often from the Infernos. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Red Noki is the batter, which isn't great, but...
Red Noki has occasionally shown up offensively a lot more than we've expected. Definitely more of that defensive utility player, star of the outfield. And that's all she's going to be this inning. Charge up, but with a bad contact angle. Sends the ball dribbling right over to Bowser, who turns it over to first for the easy out.
Still, though, I think that... Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, still though, I think that this inning will actually set the tempo of the game as much, because while the Monsters didn't have a great success small ball the first inning and Bowser Jr. will get caught out quickly for the first out, I'm very curious to see how the Infernos are able to handle the big hitter on the Monsters. Dark Bones will slap for a single despite an assassination attempt on the baseball field, and now it's up to Boo to get past Bowser.
This is a longer field, so Bowser's long hits aren't quite as deadly. The team actually did some research. They considered swapping up Dante and Red Pianta's position for this game, and then went, wait a minute, Bowser's a left-handed hitter. He tends to hit towards the left end of the field. We want to keep our big, or our good runners there in case they need to make that buddy jump. And just as I was talking about that, will Red Noki make it in time? It doesn't matter. That ball was way too high to be caught by anybody. It's a 2-run home run for Bowser.
That is the pace that I was looking at and wondering, well, Infernos, you generate a lot of great chances in the first inning, but now that you're going up against the slugging capability of the Monsters with that Captain Bowser, they're going to have to start turning those chances into guaranteed runs. Not that they're having any issue with the Monsters' small ball offense, as Magic Koopa also quickly grounds out.
And if you are other teams in the league right now, you're watching this game and you are wondering what is the answer to Bowser, as the field and a power block once again try to kill Noki in cold blood. But Bowser and K. Rool, star sluggers. Well, I guess Bowser is not starred right now, but I'd still call him a star. But top of the league, leading their teams. K. Rool obviously not the captain, but has absolutely been the primary offensive performer for the Flowers. What are the answers to these sluggers that can just put the ball over even any decent buddy jumps heads?
Well, for the Infernos, the answer will have to be that small ball capability. After trading away Firebro for Mario, we're going to have to watch this team's slap potential. And this is a pretty scary offense that they've got in the next 3 batters with Waluigi, Blue Drybones, and
It is regular Drybones.
Drybones.
Just Drybones.
OG. Drybones on the bat, followed by Otis. I mean, this is a pretty scary small ball offense, and we'll have to see how the Monsters are able to deal with it.
Now, the star power has been moved off of Drybones. They have decided to give it to new player Mario as a bit of a welcoming gift. So he may not have the same performance we've seen before. This Drybones is a bit of an oddity. Known as a power batter, likes to slap fairly often and is good at it when he does slow. This time it will be kind of a medium charge hit. It's just enough to send it into shallow left field over the head of the infielder, Bowser Jr., and get him on first base.
Otis with a good aim shot. Waluigi will remain at third, though, so that loads the bases with no outs. And now we have to look at the Infernos. They've generated another opportunity. Can they cash it in?
Boo is not really the player you want doing that, but does have a little bit of a batting boost from seeing a friend on base. And if Boo can survive, that is a good hit out to right field. Will bring in Waluigi and keep the bases loaded. Here comes Shy Guy.
The
We are back
Infernos,
to the leadoff for the Infernos.
the big thing that the Infernos have to keep in mind with this small ball offense, when you're going for big hits, you never know when bad contact will lead to an easy pop fly that's catchable by the outfield. When you're going for this small ball type play, a good fielding play from shortstop Bowser Jr. can lead into a double play and neuter a lot of your immediate threat. But with Otis still on third, Captain Dante hits it past Bowser Jr., and that will actually let the Infernos bring in 3 balls to give them the lead.
And this is their answer to Bowser, as you were talking about. They are playing their small ball game. Had a couple of nasty outs, but it's enough to chase Magic Koopa in the 2nd inning, which is something that most teams have been unable to do recently. Now, this is a team with a lot of depth in its pitching. Once Bowser's done, Bowser Jr. will come up. And after that, you probably have Goomba, who is a noted closer, mostly for his ability just to stay on the field. Excellent Boo timing. Strawberry and Mario teaming up with a couple good slaps to bring in Dante and Mario. That Boo especially hurting the monster's fielding right here. That was probably only one coming in without it.
Now the Infernos shoot up to 2-5 lead. This is still 2 outs on the board. Bowser Jr. will close out on Red Noki yet again. So that's a 2nd inning that ends off Red Noki. But hey, when that means that you've seen all 9 batters in 1 inning, that's a pretty good sign for your offense to come. Koopa now, starting off for the Monsters, batter number 2 in their order. So the Monsters have managed to see all 9 batters relatively quickly. But can they replicate a very good start that the Infernos have had? Well, Koopa will ground out to Otis, who manages to snag that Boo ball right before it slides past her. Good awareness from the shortstop, but Paratroopa's hit will rain home for a safe single.
Now you're starting to get, once again, into that scary part of the lineup. These two really want to shut this down because it means the sluggers don't even come up and no one is on base for them.
Bowser Jr., who has had so much success so far in this lead, getting out in both his attempts so far in this game, as I, with great fear and trepidation, make sure that he has star power.
Bowser Jr. does not. It is on Blue or Dark Bones, one of the two.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. No, I remember. They did change that. The Monsters did change their star power. In my heart of hearts, I was like, oh God, I forgot to make sure that star power was correct.
Oh, that's just barely landing foul. Dry Bones showing the power when he wants to. Now is just gonna slap, and there's that slapping power I was talking about. Even without star power, a slap sends it to left center field. Away from over the heads of the infielders and away from the outfielders. It's just a single. Bowser already reaching into the star power, trying to navigate out of this inning through one at Dry Bones and now one at Otis. That's going to be a double play, but Magic Koopa will not turn it around quick enough for the triple. That was a good jump by Bowser Jr.
This is one nice thing about the Inferno small ball strategy, is that more runners on the bases just means you have more opportunities to score runs. It's simple. It's just the win condition of baseball. And while monster slugging from the likes of Bowser are great, they only come up once every 2 innings if your team is really on fire. So now with the runner in scoring position again, one slip up from the Monsters just means that the lead increases for these Infernos. Shy Guy star hits it and will find the gap. That'll be at least 1 run in. But
Shell
Goomba and
is not
Koopa,
fired, but it's still good enough for an RBI single.
yeah, Goomba and Koopa turn that away to make sure that it's not two runners touching home plate. But that means the Infernos now have a 4-run lead, runners on the corners, and the Monsters once again struggling to find this third out.
And surprise performance, clutch 2-out performance from Boo. Considered the worst batter on the Infernos is the 9th player in their batting order. Didn't have any friends on base to encourage him, still hit a good single and has now run home off of it. Captain Dante hitting the single that brings him home.
Yeah, Magic Koopa missed Captain Dante's ball by an inch, but Mario's line drive to the wall is gone under just in time by Paratroopa, who I think got a little bit of a speed boost because he thought it was getting out of the arena, which is very funny. But still now, the Monsters aren't exactly a team that you can put away this easily. 2-7 scoreline, but they have plenty of time to make up this gap.
And those amazing, practically magnetic hands from Shy Guy, guaranteeing that if Bowser hits another home run, it's a solo shot.
His team does need it, though, when they're starting like this, but Bowser can't find good contact, and that's two very consistent sluggers for the Monsters knocked out quickly.
Boo having one of the best pitching performances of this season, and it's up against one of the biggest offensive threats in the league. And Otis makes another quick dive at shortstop, shuts down Magic Koopa, and in the scariest part of the Monsters' batting order, they've gone 3 up, 3 down.
It's looking good for them so far, and, well, now they have to stop. Sorry, it's looking good for the Inferno so far, and now the Monsters need to stop, again, very scary slap hitters from the Infernos. Yeah, we all did think that Strawberry was being caught out there.
Bowser already tiring, and it's only the bottom of the 4th, maybe regretting reaching for that star power earlier in the
earthquake.
Previous inning. Crucial earthquake timing will let Strawberry take an extra base, and now there's runners on the corners for former captain Waluigi.
Former captain? Well, he'll hit a great slap out to center field, and the Inferno's lead will stretch to 6 as Bowser is being taken off the mound and Bowser Jr. is being brought in very early, only the bottom of the 4th, to try to crack this offense, but Dry Bones hits it deep. Not deep enough. Goomba and Koopa make that play.
Barely not high enough. Koopa getting that at the apex of his jump. Had to have quick feet for that one.
That was a scary hit. The potential of these Infernos coming online at DK Jungle. Now Otis faces down Bowser Jr. and keeps up the pressure. Another well-timed boo to deny Goomba from being able to get under it safely. Noki in a bit of a dangerous position.
It's a close play. Noki is going to make it. Knocks Iwata off the base with that. Do Nokis have shells? Is that like a shell spin? Or is that more like a Metroid morph ball?
It's a pretty, I mean, it's a seashell.
It's a seashell. It's a seashell. Okay. Oh no! Bad shell fired by Shy Guy will shut down the inning. It's another 2 runs from the Infernos though, and Bowser, as we mentioned, getting tired. Monsters lauded for their pitching depth, and they are going to need it this game.
Meanwhile, starting pitcher Boo has done pretty well so far, but that's the thing with pitchers in this league. It's not just how well you can pitch, it's how well your team can field. The morale of a pitcher can fall so much quicker when getting scored on, which is why these Monsters are having so much trouble. Meanwhile, if your team locks down the offense of your opponents, these players can last so much longer. Drybones will hit, well, Blue Drybones will hit a line drive out to the pocket in center right for a single, and Goomba returns us to the start of the order, but it's a quick double play. I can't even stop talking before the Infernos knock out the Monsters' offense.
One gets on, and that's it. The Monsters held scoreless now for 3 innings. I mean, not scoreless, but 3 innings of scorelessness.
The Monsters so far. I'm watching Shy Guy. Okay, that should be caught out. That's
that
caught
should
out,
be
right?
caught out, but we do have bananas. Are they fired to disrupt the play? They are fired, but it's late. Koopa with another play-saving jump. Been an absolute menace for the Monsters this game.
Now I need to double check. The Monsters so far, have they played on DK Jungle? I'm looking as Dante hits a good single to get on base. And I don't believe that the Monsters have. I do want to highlight right now this defense from the Infernos, just because the Monsters, in all their games so far, I think the lowest that they've been kept to was by the Monarchs at 6. Everything else has been double digits. No, they were held to 9 against the Ron Eggs, but still very hard to keep this team down. And with Strawberry hitting a great hit to the outfield that's bamboozling them, another runner touches home plate, and these Infernos are now up to an 8-run lead.
2 on, Noki up at bat. This could be a continuation of small ball, or with a slap like that, it will be. I was gonna say, or an inning-ending double play. But the first baseman misses the catch, and Noki makes it on.
Finally, an inning that doesn't end by the red Noki. At least that's what you're thinking if you're an Infernos fan. These Monsters are desperate for a way to end this, but Waluigi's slap hits are hard to catch out, and that keeps the bases loaded at only 1 out, and the Infernos climb up to a 9-run lead.
That time, the slap hit from Dry Bones will be caught out by Captain Bowser. He's celebrating that one. It is enough to save his team from a bases still loaded situation, as he's able to turn the double play, but that is the third 2-run inning from the Infernos in a row.
Oh my god, Shy Guy. Shy Guy, you can't keep getting away with this.
Waving to the camera, Buddy knows what's up. Buddy knows what they're thinking.
Well, the Monsters need to find an answer, and with only 4 opportunities left, this is looking more and more like they're in deep trouble. Paratroopa grounds out. Bowser Jr., the start of the most terrifying offensive 3 in this league, but he just hasn't been able to get on base yet.
And
I really thought there was going to be another Shy Guy dive.
This time.
I really thought there was going to be another Shy Guy dive.
I honestly kind of did too. We'll see if Dark Bones is able to keep it going. Boo finally starting to tire in the 6th. Getting 6 innings out of Boo is pretty good for the Infernos. They're going to have to make a buddy jump here, and it's good enough. Captain Dante makes the catch. Royal Guard shuts down the Dry Bones. Or Dark Bones, rather.
I understood that reference, but
I'm doing my best. I've only played 5.
that just... Okay, play... That's fine. I've only played 1. Together, we've played 6. So, now, as we go back to the Infernos offense, Otis will start out as the primary threat here. Bowser Jr. is still a great pitcher, and this Monsters defense is very good. They just need to figure out their stride here on DK Jungle. I'm not sure exactly what is causing all these issues. This is definitely an unexpected result. Like, good for the Infernos to win this game, but like running through the Monsters defense like this with another Boo, I think it's fair to say that no one saw that one coming.
And Bowser Jr. starting to tire now. They have been reaching for the star power pretty consistently. They're down to 1. A good catch by Magic Koopa does manage to get them out of that situation with a double play, and they are finally able to stop the Infernos from scoring for the first time in 4 innings. 5 innings, really.
We are in deep trouble now. 3 innings left, 9 runs to score, and your big slugger of Bowser can't break out of the stadium. An incredible line drive shot, but it's only good for a single. And the Infernos, in a wild change of pace, are still on their first pitcher.
This is a team who had to be wondering constantly who was coming up third in the pitching. They haven't even had to go to their second. A good slap from Dark Bones. You got a feeling that Noki knew where that one was going, but couldn't be sure and didn't want to look like a fool for making that play. If they were wrong, if she was wrong.
Well, she's gonna look like a fool if the Monsters are able to capitalize off runners off the corners, no out situation. Awada actually gets a bobble from Shy Guy. The banana trips up Strawberry in right field, and that's a run in for the Monsters for the first time since the second inning.
Everyone's got to screw up occasionally. It's just nasty for Shy Guy that it was in what could have been an inning-saving situation. That could have easily been a double play. Instead, it's a runner in, and we will finally see Boo swap off the mound. Mario trying to step up in this clutch situation.
Sack
That
Fly
is a
will try to bring
long
Magic
hit.
Koopa in.
There's a-
Oh my! Okay, yeah, no, sorry. I forgot which player was on which team for a second there. So Sumi, Boo used to be on the Monsters. Still though, the Monsters now, 2 runs brought in. They need a third in order to meet quota for this comeback. Only 1 out so far, and Goomba hits a beautiful shot up the center. The power block does knock out Noki, but Awada won't try to take advantage of it. Run on first, run on second, 1 out.
Monsters finally finding their small ball stride, and Mario still has to try and get out of this jam.
A second.
Another bobble from Shy Guy, but the pow block knocks out Goomba, so it will still be 1 out, but that could have been the end of the inning. Mario having to face down the 4th batter, his 4th batter this inning, when it could have been over right then and there. Otis will show Shy Guy how it's done.
It's a good start for the Monsters, but it's not enough. Only 2 brings their deficit down to 7. They'll have to score in 2 innings. They are more than capable of it as a team, but are they capable of holding back this red-hot Infernos squad?
Another paintball coming in from Bowser Jr. It will find the strike against Captain Dante. Goes for another charge hit. It's far out, right in the right spot in right field. Far enough away from Paratroopa to guarantee a single. And that is the 3rd pitcher stepping off for the Monsters. Goomba, their long haul closer. Their long haul reliever, I should say. Trying to step up. Ooh.
What a throw!
There is the power of Bowser as an infielder. It's why it is so impossible to crack this Monsters defense permanently. No matter how their pitching switch is up, they've always got big threat infielders and good, strong outfield synergy. Strawberry will still manage to find first base, but that was an unfortunate double play for the Infernos.
Goomba is a great pitcher in his own right, too, so this Monsters defense still has a bit of life in it. As Red Noki, we'll have to see whether the 3rd inning this game ends on them. Red Noki, please! Magic Koopa reels it in, throws it to first, and stops the Infernos cold. That means that they've gone scoreless for 2, and this Monsters comeback is looking all the more possible, though still very difficult.
They have to score at least 7 over the next 2 without allowing the Infernos to score at all. They are in their best batting positioning for this inning in order to do that, both in their batting positioning and the Infernos. Well, Infernos are starting off with Dry Bones, who is definitely not a bad batter to start off with. Mario starting to throw a little heat, trying to find his stride on the mound for this new team. A weak slap, very weak slap by Dark Bones is going to put Bowser in a 2-out situation with nobody on base, and that has always seemed to erode his confidence it's enough to let Shy Guy turn one more out and end another inning.
The Inferno's in a great spot to get up to that 500 win percentage. And if I'm... Well, yeah. They'll still be at a negative run differential if the game ends right here. But getting up to that 3-3 scoreline in such a competitive league will be a huge boon. Especially when that game is off the Monsters. Waluigi's slap does let him touch base. I'll add a little bit of extra spice to this for the Infernos fans, actually. Sorry?
Thought it was dry bones.
I'll add a little bit of extra spice to this for the Infernos fans. Their current run differential is -11. They're currently up +7 in this game. Is it possible for them to get back to a 0-0 run differential? Maybe, but Otis will have to come up pretty big.
Difficult. It's gonna be difficult, especially considering that if they still are in a winning position, it is now impossible.
It's not technically impossible.
For that inning. They had to score for that inning.
No, it is impossible.
Because they are batting second in the they are the home team. So even if they probably don't get to come up to bat for the 9th time.
In my head, I was like, what if the Monsters tie the game and then the Inferno scores 11 runs in one inning? But no, that would just be a walk-off.
It would have to be one play.
That would be pretty incredible.
I'd love to see
what
that.
a grab from Strawberry. Okay, let's actually hype this up properly. 2 outs now. The Monsters fighting for their lives with Blue Drybones in the top of the 9th. Down 7. Can the dead man find the hit? No, the Infernos locked down their defense and managed to deal a pretty decisive victory against a league favorite, defeating the Monsters 4-11. Wild. One thing Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, one thing will always remain consistent about the Infernos: good luck guessing what happens next.
They're an amazing small ball team. They didn't score in their game against the Monarchs until the 8th inning when they scored 4 off of some really weird bobbles. They're an amazing offensive team. Here, let us put 11 over against the Monsters.
Wild play from the Infernos, and MVP honors fall to the captain, Dante, starting his team's resurgence with a very, very solid win. Now, let's address the Monsters first. They won't be hurt the worst from this loss, while they will get a more quote-unquote reasonable run differential, and they will be in danger of actually losing top spot in the league. This team has proven itself more than enough that I'm willing to look at this as a bit of an oddity. Blue Drybones with extra star power not really performing the way you need him to for that investment. Bowser Jr. also struggling. The Monsters swapped up their roster essentially for the first time since the start of the season. Moved that star power over to Blue Drybones, and, well, it cost them here in Playday number 6.
I do want to give Koopa in the outfield his credit. Excellent fielding from that turtle today. Really shut down multiple plays that could have made this scoreline even more devastating for the Monsters. I think did enough out there to guarantee that the Infernos did not reach a 0-run differential.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. A couple of good shots. This Monsters team, it's a rough play day, but they definitely have more than enough padding that they can afford a rough play day, and we'll be looking to see how they bounce back. Meanwhile,
difficult loss, but by no means that bad.
By no means. Meanwhile, the Infernos. What the fuck? Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen Boo have a 60 batting on the scoreline.
I mean, it's kind of hard to try to track that level of performance, yeah. Meanwhile, Mario, while not really doing that great for his team, let's pause for a moment. It's not like the big trade of trading away Firebro was the thing that won this Inferno squad this game. It was just excellent small ball led by their captain Dante in order to ensure that they had what it takes to get through. And when you have now an incredible starred pitcher in Mario on this squad, maybe that'll patch up the Inferno's defense. I mean, taking a look at you real quick, have the Infernos ever, like, not managed to score pretty well? Playday 1, they got 9. I'm just going to go through and list off their
game
scores.
Against the Monarchs.
Yeah, 9, 13, 4 against the Revenge on DK Jungle, actually. The game against the Monarchs. Okay, so they've been managed. But their small ball is looking like maybe one of the best in the league right now.
It's definitely a big threat, and other teams might have to start thinking, what do we do about the Infernos? Usually the Infernos have done to themselves.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, who knows? We'll go to Playday 7 and the Infernos will lose like 2-31 on Bowser Jr.'s Playroom or something.
Who
We'll see
knows?
what happens. Who knows with this team? In the meantime, while the Monsters are dealt a pretty sizable blow, we now need to see if the Flowers are able to take advantage of that and are able to claim the top slot in the league. The Flowers, and I'm going to send it to you for in a second to talk about the scrambled eggs, but the Flowers, 4-1 record, one of 3 teams in the league to have a positive run differential, very much strongly off the bat of K-Rool driving in big scoring plays. Meanwhile, when you've got the bats like Daisy, Mr. Consistency, and Mr. Consistency to put runners on the base for him, well, this is looking pretty scary. And we talked about pitching depth a lot this Playday so far. It is not quite a pitching depth as good as the Luigi-Daisy pairing. So when you've got the offense and when you've got the defense, who's to counter it? Well, we asked the Flowers coach in a quick interview recently. Big question to him was, after barely making it into the playoffs last season to being a top contending threat this season, how are the Flowers dealing with a meteoric rise? And I'm going to go through and paraphrase this a little bit because it was a solid answer. Big highlights from the manager was that after the loss of their blue team members, with more of the team not flowing as well with each other, the team was kind of figuring it was going to be a hurdle to get into a flow state. But it looks like King K. Rool's hits have been fantastic. And with the surprising help of Yoshi and Magic Koopa, who were expected to be more defensive players, the expectations have started to show that they can, in fact, hit with the best of them. The whole team, and I will now directly quote this, I think the team as a whole defensively and offensively have performed well above what I expected from them as their coach, and I can't be more proud. The Flowers will look to see if they can ride that upswing forward. Meanwhile, Silver Lily, what is going on with the scrambled eggs?
The Scrambled Eggs are possibly one of the other weirdest teams in the league, and I have to say that because in every game but one, they have ended with a 1-run difference between the teams, both in wins and losses. The one game that was different, a game on Peach's Ice Garden against the Rotten Eggs, who at the time were looking like one of the scariest teams in the league.
And you have since fallen from grace. That curse did strike.
Yeah, so I cannot know what to expect from the Scrambled Eggs. For one, they are starting pitching Yellow Yoshi. Now, the Yoshis are noted as good defensive infielding or infield and outfield players, but not normally rated highly for their pitching. Yellow Yoshi's pitching worked out pretty well for the Scrambled Eggs. They're rocking a double Yoshi pitching lineup. after the double Yoshis, it probably goes to Baby Peach. Sometimes it goes to one of their outfielders. But still, it's a surprise pitcher you would not expect to be working as well as they have. But Yellow Yoshi has shown up for this team. They've got strong sluggers, especially in PD Piranha and that starred player King Boo, as well as your frequently cited Mr. One Consistency in Wiggler. Strong players. And yet every game seems to come down as close as it possibly can. I don't ever know what to expect from this team, and in a completely different fashion from how we don't know what to expect from the Infernos.
I think I have to wonder whether the Scrambled Eggs wanted the game with the Lawn Eggs to finally be that breakaway from winning and losing by only one, but they immediately came back and played a number 5 and lost by 1. So God help them. Any highlights before we head into this? I'm actually going to take the time to highlight that I think this, if I had to bet, we're going to Yoshi Park, which is a very crazy field, but I'm looking at the defenses of both these teams and wondering who can hold out more, because Yellow Yoshi is like an okay pitcher, but it's probably, in my opinion, one of the biggest cases of a pitcher lasts longer on the mound when the team's defense is good. And the Scrambled Eggs have proven to have a very mighty defense so far, as evidenced from the fact that all the games have been relatively low scoring. The Flowers, well, were one of the big defensive teams in Season 1, and I think are only set up to continue that dominance in Season 2. So I'm looking at both these teams and I'm asking which defense cracks first. Do you have any thoughts before we head into this matchup?
It's really hard to crack the Flowers defense. You have to get through 2 captain tier pitchers who are considered some of the best in the league, Luigi and Daisy. Once you get through them, well, you're probably bringing in Magic Koopa. If they're unlucky, they might send Daisy out to the outfield and bring in Baby Daisy instead, which would open up a hole. But overall, that is a much tougher nut to crack in terms of actually opening up holes in their defense. They've got strong infield, a strongly synergistic outfield. Over on the Scrambled Eggs, while the Yoshis are good infielders, and I'm actually a bigger fan of Jersey infielders than you are, they're still... You're guaranteed a Yoshi for Yoshi swap, which preserves their infield composition, but after that, with a good pitcher, a good third pitcher in the infield at third base, and in the outfield, there is no telling where Yoshi might go. So if you get 3 pitchers deep into the Scrambled Eggs, you might sometimes just completely open up their outfield.
Well, we'll have to see. Maybe the outfield will be opened up by just a runaway train at the wrong time and place. You never really know. As we will be heading to Yoshi Park.
Hey, that train maintains a consistent schedule, okay? If you are on the tracks when the train is coming through, you have nobody to blame but yourself.
Okay. Well, we'll see whether or not another train... I think we've been... 2 Yoshi Park games have been determined because of that fucking train. This season. We'll see how it plays out as the Flowers head to Scrambled Eggs territory. Game 2 of Playday number 6 brings us to Yoshi Park at 9. Fun fact, actually, all our games will be at night until the 4th game.
Oh, interesting. Got a lot of nighttime games and then one being played on the other coast.
I mean, yeah. I think that nighttime games nighttime stadiums tend to be more chaotic than daytime stadiums. I would argue that the only exception to that is maybe, arguably, DK Jungle.
The train had already come through, so there was enough buffer time there for Blooper to be able to make that catch. Got hit immediately afterwards, but is doing okay. The 2 captains getting outright away off like first pitch on each 2. They both found contact, but not to the right spots. And now it is up to the imposter Luigi to do exactly the same thing.
I think that's okay. His name is Luigi, and you will treat it with respect. But I do think it's actually really funny how far forward Wiggler can stand when catching line drives, because he's got to be like the tallest man in the league.
A good, not the best hit from King Boo. Normally you're expecting kind of higher trajectories from that player. But a good grounder with like a good angle on that grounder allows it to be a single.
Meanwhile, Cookie wants to keep up the damage. Baby Daisy isn't able to reach it in time, but the train will bounce it back to her, meaning that the scrambled eggs, Cookie gets a single off it. Runners on the corners, no outs, and it's the Flowers who will have to hold off the onslaught first. Still, this is a weaker section of the scrambled eggs batting lineup. Double play, but the RBI is brought in, so the scrambled eggs will draw first blood of 1 here in the bottom of the first.
Rounded into a double play means that would not be scored for Yellow Yoshi, but it does still bring in the point with King Boo running home, and now Baby Peach able to make it to base right away.
I really like the baby players. Maybe it's because they're the least consistently good at literally anything right now, but I'm always happy whenever they hit the field. As I glance over at the time that I fielded that the Ron Eggs fielded 2 baby players, and I immediately think, am I? Critter now. Immediately caught out. Good reaction from Baby Peach to catch that line drive that was trying to fly over her head, and now K-Will has no friends on base.
I was gonna say, be careful about your phrasing there, Willie. One of the most consistent things I have noted with baby players, King K. Rool hitting one of his home runs, we've seen that a billion times, that star power really doing wonders for him this season. One of the things I have noted several times is that Baby Daisy is quite possibly the most targeted outfield player in the league. I think I have seen the baby hit with more items and hazards than any other player, but that could just be confirmation bias because it's really notable when it happens to a baby.
I mean, why do you think Daisy grew up like that? Red Yoshi now facing down 2 outs for this Flowers offense, is able to evade the infield for a single and keep it going. But this is definitely a section of the Flowers where you're looking to just advance as many runners deep as you can to get back to those heavy hitters. The star of the daisy chain, though, is as funny a place as any.
The Yoshis have definitely been performing a lot better than anyone was expecting on batting, and Baby Daisy, Red Yoshi especially, has been performing great, and Baby Daisy following that up with a long hit double uninterfered with. That was just pure good batting from Baby Daisy. Put runners on second and third.
Baby Daisy is just like that. The Piranha Plant catches the ball. Petey, no! Oh, catches out JC at second base. And that means that the third out will happen. I think an RBI happened, maybe 2?
Two came in. As long as the batter reaches base, those runs are fair. So while JC did get out, it was on a base running error after reaching first. Those points scored.
So the Flowers begin to light up the scoreboard with 3 quick runs in the top of the second. Though those really were close-cut runs. Can the Scrambled Eggs respond? Well, seems to think so with a good single.
Putting one on for Petey Piranha is a pretty good position if you're a Scrambled Eggs fan. Petey Piranha, last time...
the train!
The train is going to guarantee that Petey Piranha makes that home run, but I don't know if Yoshi had the legs there to help with that. That was a really high hit. Yoshi wasn't nearby by the time Baby Daisy got hit there. Petey Piranha, no star, all slug, hits the tying home run.
I think that would have been caught, but it would have been close. Still, though, blooper Their attempt will be caught out immediately for out number 2. Less pressure on the scrambled eggs since that big 2-run homer did tie the game. But a tie game is not a winning game, and Mr. Consistency will be turned to as batter number 9 to put someone on for King Boo. Slaps it for a single.
What's up? Note that the train has possibly been Petey Piranha's biggest ally every time the scrambled eggs have come to Yoshi Park. One of their earliest one-run wins was against the Diddy Kong's Revenge in a very close game where Petey Piranha hit the ball into a train bucket during daytime.
Yeah. Well, quick call out to that King Boo hitting it right to Luigi on first base, who jumped up, grabbed the ball for out number 1, touchdown on the bag for out number 2. So the Flowers will be shut down. I mean, the train is a little bit harder on nighttime. I think it's faster, and it's definitely
the train
longer.
Is faster.
Yeah, it's definitely longer with a couple extra cars. A little bit of a busy time. They're trying to get everyone home from work, so they need a little bit of extra help. Daisy, though, caught out, and Mr. Consistency looks like he's not going to have much luck either, as he's also caught out. Neither of these captains have been able to find success so far.
Yellow Yoshi performing as that pitcher like I was talking about has given up 3 so far, but against a team like the Flowers, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a pitcher that wouldn't.
Slider attempt caught by Critter out to left field. Wiggler, I think this is just a... Nope, that's a 2-run homer.
I think Wiggler was unsure of where it was gonna go. Didn't make that outfield sprint in time. A buddy jump might have catched that, but that indecision instead catches them lacking. And it's another 2-run lead, and just as I was complimenting Yellow Yoshi, that decisive play will pull him off the mound.
That's a bit scary for the scrambled eggs. It's the top of the 3rd. Yoshi doesn't last forever if the team's defense can't come together. But Kaul won't blast it out of the park. He'll just hit a line drive for a single. And now plenty of opportunities for Yoshi to find a hole in this offense. Off Green Magic Koopa's Scepter, that'll be out number 3.
That could have easily been a double play, let alone the inning sealing out they needed. There's only a 2-run difference, and the eggs were able to make it up last time. Starting off with Cookie into Yellow Yoshi, maybe a little bit of a rough spot to try and make that happen. I don't know if the Boo would have saved that. Maybe it would have if it had been fired quick enough, but...
Well, Magic can see through invisibility, and Yellow Yoshi needs to see through Luigi if they want to reach a base here for slugging captain potential tier hitter, I would say, a Baby Peach. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
No reason. Yellow Yoshi actually able to make the hit off of Luigi. Again, this is a very good pitcher. And Baby Peach will immediately turn it into a double play by hitting a weak grounder right to Magic Koopa.
What an unexpected result from Baby Peach.
The scrambled eggs having a little bit of difficulty now, but they are in a weaker spot in the Flowers lineup. They have to try and shut it down if they want to claw their way back into this game.
Red Yoshi is actually able to... What's up?
I say that, but something we've noted recently is that these Yoshis have been showing up as batting players. Especially Red Yoshi.
It's really kind of unexpected. I mean, I almost am waiting for the trend to stop, but they've been doing pretty solid. Baby Daisy also kind of bucking the trend with a very good hit out to right field. Now I'll put a runner on first, runner on second. No outs now for the Flowers.
I think Baby Daisy is the best batting baby.
She's gotta be. Blooper dodges the power block, which will stop a runner from being able to go in. Can't hit that floater, but now captain versus captain, loaded bases and no outs. Yoshi has to find a way out of this hole. Oh my god.
Daisy's gonna try and make sure that doesn't happen. It's a fair ball, but the Boo is good. It's 2 in, as the Daisy chain with a little Yoshi help have all reached base.
I really, really, really thought that was going to be a Daisy Grand Slam. I got really scared. Mr. Consistency up, though. Still no outs, and he won't look to add to that now as bases are reloaded with no outs on the scoreboard, and these Flowers are looking terrifying.
This is one of the toughest teams to get through. There aren't any really big holes in their batting order. Blooper makes the decision not to throw to second, instead throws home, but it's far too late to stop the run that was coming home. Nobody gets out, everyone stays on, and now it's Critter and King K. Rool that you've got to try and end this inning on.
They basically need Critter to hit into a triple play, and he's not doing that. Pops it up. Daisy will get caught out at home.
By Daisy will cause a throw out at home at least.
I think she thought that it was being caught, which is fair. It's not exactly big damage.
And it's in. It's in. It's a fair ball, but it'll still not be another out. Flowers have decided to play small ball this game, as they are now almost back where they started.
I think that would have been a home run on basically any field that wasn't Yoshi Park, actually. Finally, stops the bleeding by catching out Magic Koopa's hit. Throwing quickly to first to catch out K. Rool. But the Flowers strike hard with a big 4-run inning.
Now the Scrambled Eggs, if they want to try and maintain their spot in this game, their position in this league, have to fight for it. They have always been there. Oh my god, is this a Yoshi home run?
No.
Oh, wow, we didn't even get a buddy jump camp for that.
That was a buddy jump, but that was very weird. Goes for it as well.
Are we getting an oh-ho-ho home run? Probably not an oh-ho home run, but the Daisy chain doing their best in the outfield just to make sure that stays shut down.
Yeah, I caught that, by the way. The home run is very funny. Good job. Good bit. High five.
PD Piranha, you've got to do something for your team here. They are counting on you to shave even one run off this deficit.
But the train isn't going to be there. Oh, no, it's too high, though.
Doesn't matter. PD Piranha, as I said before, no star, all slug, doesn't need the star power to beat the buddy jump. He can just put it over by himself.
I'm a little bit surprised by that. I thought that Baby Daisy had hops, but I suppose that's not the case. Blooper will be brought up now to see whether or not the Scrambled Eggs have any extra legs, and they don't.
Well, you can't count on Blooper to have legs, okay?
Okay, fine, fair enough. Baby Daisy has a super dive ability. That's very funny. Okay.
Baby Daisy is actually a pretty good infielder, too. The Flowers have favored her as an outfielder just because it's really easy to build outfield compositions around her for them. But she has been, like, back in the Winter Classic, the CPU Winter Classic, the Eggs used her as an infielder, and she worked pretty well for them.
Well, do you want to talk about King Boo being brought in and the Scrambled Eggs no longer having synergy in right field?
That's a disaster. That's a disaster and a half, especially against a team like the Flowers. I think King K. Rool favors batting to right as well. So the big slugger for the team of the Flowers now has an open hole in that outfield to aim for. That was something I talked about as a potential issue of the Scrambled Egg squad before the game got started.
Well, they're doing fine enough, at least, of shutting down the Flowers so far. Daisy is once again unable to find much and will be the third out of this inning. So the Flowers go scoreless for the first time since the first. And it's up to the Scrambled Eggs. They need to accelerate their game plan. They need these runners, these batters, to start finding success. And, oh my god. Oh, it's not in by an inch! Oh, I thought that was in. Oh, but no, it bounces off the train for a single.
It's good enough for a single, and when you're the Scrambled Eggs here, I think you're taking any batter on that you can get. Yoshi Park gives and Yoshi Park takes, as it took away a K. Rool home run and now takes away a King Boo home run. But it's still good enough single to advance Wiggler all the way to third.
Runners on the corners and no outs is a pretty good position to be in, but you need to avoid double plays that can turn a great position into nothing very quick. Cookie, as a veteran player of the league, knows to slap it right up the center. Great aim to bring in an RBI. Put runner on first or runner on second, still no outs, and the Scrambled Eggs are in position to score big if Yellow Yoshi can show up.
I am going to have to step off commentary for a little bit, Willie. My apologies. Something has just come up.
Please tell Zephyr that I love her.
As soon as I can.
Well, I miss Silver Lily. As Yellow Yoshi unfortunately hits into a double play, and Baby Peach, reeled in by Green Magic Koopa, does end the inning for these Scrambled Eggs. They'll reduce the lead down to, I believe, 4 now, yes. But still a big deficit to make up, especially as the Flowers offense continues to look so scary. Can King Boo find his way past Mr. Consistency? Well, it's not like Mr. Consistency has had a great game so far, as he slaps it right to and I think we're going to have to find another moniker for the man. As Lou Easy comes up, Consistency Jr. caught out by Yellow Yoshi at shortstop, and the infield of the Scrambled Eggs does the work to shut down the 2 small ball batters. Now, can the outfield handle a big slugger like Critter?
All right, I am back. False alarm. I see we have come back to a 2-out, no on, Critter up situation from the Flowers. Tell me what I missed, Willie.
Wait. Yeah, we're fine. Okay.
Wiggler won't be missing that ball, and the inning ends, and let's move on.
Yep. Caught out the first hit at second base. Yellow Yoshi did a great catch at shortstop for out number 2 using the tongue catch. And third, Critter was handled by the outfield, meaning 3 up, 3 out, and the Flowers once again scoreless in the 6th. The Scrambled Eggs need to find a run an inning to get back into this, because if there's one thing I'm focused on, it's quotas.
Well, with Luigi starting to tire, this may be one of their best opportunities. Once he steps off, that will be Daisy coming up. Boo once again not used. What could have kept Oh-Ho-Ho on instead is a quick out. Petey Piranha at least manages to keep their hopes alive in this inning, though not in his usual solo shot home run fashion.
Blooper will have to find the bases, or the Scrambled Egg situation is looking ever the more dire. But it's a great shot to the pocket, not picked up by that Piranha plant. It's still a well-aimed double.
Do these Scrambled Eggs players ever use their items?
I'm sure they have. Still, though,
Luigi, with 2 on, decides he doesn't want to try and close out this inning and hands it off to Daisy, who immediately goes for the flower shot. They do have a pow block to try and break it up. They have to use that item now. It's enough. Blooper and Wiggler stunned, but Petey Piranha runs in the star pitch. Excellent star pitch, but items are one of the big threats. Critter had no good choices there.
King Boo had a big line drive last at bat, but it was blocked by the outfield. Can he find a better shot this time off the fastball? No. No, it's big. Baby Daisy bobbles the line drive. 1 run touches home. Wiggler's heading home. That's 2. And the double hit brings the Scrambled Eggs. You're never going to believe this. 1 run behind the Flowers.
Let's see if this is their cursed number or if they manage to pull 1 run ahead, Willie. Veteran player Cookie with the championship ring steps up. One of the players to really start this offensive turnaround is instead going to hit a grounder out to third base and get out at first. But this is very good for the scrambled eggs. Do not get us wrong. They shaved off every little bit of that once very scary 6-run lead. The train. This is a train run. Yep.
I think that might have been too high anyway.
Might have been.
But it's only one. Yeah, that's a K roll shot. God,
that is a King K Rool star shot.
Do you think the speed of that roller coaster in the background is safe? That is scary. Still though, Magic Koopa facing against King Boo. They didn't actually have synergy in right field. We forgot about that. It was a whole thing we freaked out about earlier. It was a whole thing.
Didn't even matter.
We freaked out about it so much, and then we just absolutely forgot.
Look, this game's been a lot, okay? I'm still focusing on them being having been one run behind.
Yeah, that's fair. Red Yoshi and Green Magic Koopa both find the sandbags this time, as they're good on the batter's box. Baby Daisy now. No outs for her team. Don't. Okay, that curves foul.
It curves foul. Oh my goodness. Baby Daisy trying to show that she's a home run threat too. Instead, gets out.
What the hell was that?
Baby speak.
Oh, now JC versus King Boo, who's done a pretty admirable job so far in pitching this game. Scoring definitely slowed down. Yellow Yoshi will catch that attempt at a center field hit and turn it into a double play. Excellent infield play saves the scrambled eggs from too much damage, but they are now still down 2. What's up?
Nothing. We do finally see another tongue catch this game. Credit to the Flowers. They have been avoiding the Yoshis as infielders pretty well. Now, we had a couple of weaker batters show up before immediately getting shut down by the rest of their lineup. For the Flowers, it is now on the scrambled eggs to try and find similar success, but it won't start with Yellow Yoshi.
And I can't imagine it'll start with Baby Peach, but Baby Daisy has already shown up so well this game. Can Baby Peach replicate that? No. Magic Koopa snags the second out of the inning.
It now has to start with Yoshi, or maybe they just hope for a third out and try and go into a stronger next inning. A star pitch, the fire is there in time. It's good enough for a single. Daisy has to be careful about how she uses those, because the wrong item can just completely break up that play. We now have one on for stepping up. If she can get on, she will not, and that means Petey Piranha will have nobody on when he steps up in the bottom of the 8th.
The scrambled eggs really needed that one. Now 2 innings left, still down by 2. I do think that Daisy's star pitch is one of the lesser valued in the league, because while it has the disadvantage of items playing so well against it, it also has the advantage of being impossible to hit through. If you hit that star pitch, you're gonna have a pop fly. The only question is whether your items can save it. Baby Peach will be brought in to sub out for King Boo, though, at the top of the 8th, and we'll see how her pitching arm manages. Yeah. Okay. We'll see how good of a center fielder Wiggler manages to be with a concussion. The shell knocks out Yellow Yoshi and allows Luigi to safely touch up on second. That means it's not a double play to end the inning, and Critter will see the batter's box. Big hit to left field. Wiggler.
They still have synergy there. Buddy jump is good. Just barely. That one was looking to scrape the top of the train tunnel, I think.
I think it was going to bounce off the wall. Yeah, that one was destined for the wall, but still.
Shuts down the inning before King K. Rool can come up. And now Petey Piranha, the strongest part of this scrambled eggs lineup. Can you score 2? That is what is between you and a loss right now. It will keep you tied long enough to go into extra innings. Petey Piranha wants it. Train's nowhere in sight. Shell is fired. It's off the back wall. The shell hits them. It's disrupting PD Piranha makes it all the way to third, but it will not be an inside the park home run.
That is a wild triple. The Daisies in the outfield, Baby Daisy and JC, both saw it bouncing off the wall and felt safe, but the train disruption came in time just to give PD those extra bases. That's a wild hit that we very rarely see.
Yeah, notably, they were not hit by the train first. They were hit by the shell first after it bounced off the wall. Shell squeaked in just before the train came in, and then, once they had finally recovered, picked up the ball, they still had the train to contend with. A good slap by Wiggler with some boost support. That'll turn a single into a double, maybe even a triple. Wiggler's trying for it. It will be a triple, and now the tying run is on third base as an RBI triple with boost support brings PD Piranha home.
It's so rare to see a triple in Grand Slam Galaxy in the first place, and then we see 2 of them in 3 batters. And also, I think someone else was in there, but, well, you know, King Boo, back up.
Going for the charge hit, doesn't like his odds on the first one. Will he go for it again? Does, finds it. It's a weak slap, but a fielding error by Magic Koopa. Tries to beat out Wiggler going home and isn't able to do it. And the team goes, okay, get off the field. You can be on the mound for a bit. Daisy's done pitching. But what could have been an out at first and just a sacrifice grounder turns into a clean RBI single off that error by Magic Koopa.
Why are the Scrambled Eggs games always like this? We're in the 9th inning. It's a tie goddamn game. K-Rool is going to step up to the batter's box. He's going to hit a solo shot homer off of Baby Peach's slider. And then it's going to, like, look, he's charged up. He's ready. It's a fastball. Excuse me. Okay, it's foul.
It turns foul. You still got a chance to be right. Here comes the
oh my god!
Strikes out! K-Rool strikes out!
Baby Peach strikes out K-Rool!
Top of the 9th in a 10-10 game.
No! Okay! Okay! Baby Peach now, slider caught by Green Magic Koopa. The Flowers still have the opportunity to gain the lead here. Their small ball hasn't been exceptional, but it has done some damage so far this game. Yeah, can it come up at the top of the 9th?
Their like 4-run inning came off a lot of small ball.
Yeah, it was okay. I'm comparing it to the Infernos a little bit, which is a little bit unfair.
Comparison.
Yeah. Okay. Red Yoshi has come up so big for this roster so far this game in his small ball potential. Can he find his way past Baby Peach? No, that's the inning over.
And you know what that means, Willie? We're either going to extras or, unless there's a few getting on and a big home run, the Scrambled Eggs are positioned to win this by 1 run.
PD Piranha is batter number 4. So if anyone hits a home run, it'll be him. And there has to be at least another batter on base. Yellow
Yoshi does what is needed to put a runner on without a double play. PD Piranha is now guaranteed to come up, but they are in a double play dangerous position for their lineup. Baby Peach looking for a charge hit.
She's already hit into so many double plays this game, and the streak continues. The banana not coming out in time. 2 outs now against the Scrambled Eggs as Yoshi steps to the plate. Sorry, PD Piranha was going to be bat number 5. I lied.
Okay, Yoshi's got to find base, and does so. Stepping up. If neither of these players get out on Ohoho's play, then PD Piranha will come up to base, or to bat this inning.
Slaps?
It's a slap, but Critter is right under it. And we go to extras for our first time in Season 2 regular season.
Have we not seen extras in... Wait, no,
I don't believe we have.
I think the Wilds game went to extras, but we don't have the scoreboard because I accidentally closed out of that before we got the scoreboard up. And like Playday 3 or something.
I will double check.
You can't.
As best I can.
Yeah, we can't now.
I don't think that one went to extras, Willie. That was a 6-18 game.
Okay, never mind. Still, it was a wild extras. Still, JC successfully touches the plate, and now it's the captain batters up in the 10th inning. Daisy hasn't shown up so far this game, but can she show up against Baby Peach? No! King Boo is critical in turning that double play, and again, the scrambled eggs with a chance to come up when they're needed.
There's a fan out in the stands yelling about a King Poo bobble that we must have both missed. It's on Petey Piranha now to try and put this game away, but that's a weak grounder. Luigi misses the dive. It's a single, but it's not what you want if you're the scrambled eggs right now, unless you're hoping Wiggler puts it over so you can have a 2-run win.
Yeah, Wiggler did actually get that triple earlier. Bloober is, like, fine. Bloober's a little bit more...
The train coming in, bounces it back, actually good for the fielders there as it prevented them from having to run further.
Okay, Wiggler, runner in scoring position. Mr. Consistency, no outs on the board against Green Magic Koopa.
Is going to watch the first. It is a ball, good plate discipline. Charging up on the second, finds it. It's going far. This could be a sack. There's a buddy jump. No, the runners have to tag up. They've gotten too far away. Train doesn't come in time, and that will just be a long fly out. If that pow block had been fired, maybe something could have been done, but the Flowers cannon must be jammed. Or not the Flowers, the Scrambled Eggs cannon must be jammed, because they have not been firing those this game.
Okay, still a runner in scoring position, and King Boo has had one home run potential stolen away by the wall on this park. He wants another big one.
But watches the ball. Finds the second. It's a line drive. It's
Petey Piranha's running home. Petey Piranha.
No!
No!
Bases remain loaded. That was not a safe run for Petey Piranha. Petey Piranha does not have good base running.
Okay, Cookie now with a chance. It's a little bit soft. Critter gets under it. It is a double play to catch out Blooper. We're heading to inning number 11 off of what was a great opportunity for the Scrambled Eggs. They just aren't able to pull it in. And now,
as the Scrambled Eggs head into the weaker part of their lineup, the Flowers are heading into their strongest with Luigi, Louise, and Critter, followed by King K. Rool. If any of these players get on base, it's looking like a 2-run lead, and that might happen as Yellow Yoshi gets the bobble with the tongue catch to allow Luigi to get on. Louise finds a good hit out to right center field, puts runners on the corners, and Baby Peach begins to tire. She was not made for extra innings. She's not even 2 years old yet.
I don't think she can count to 11. Critter contact finds a perfect gap. At least one runner will touch home as Luigi gets to the plate. And with K-Rool up with 2 runners on the bases, and it's been a second since we've seen a big K-Rool bomb, he'll be facing a fresh pitcher.
Then that fresh pitcher is Petey Piranha, carrying the team on his back, trying to carry them through extras, even if it means taking the mound himself, just chucking star pitches. But King K. Rool is the king for a reason, thoroughly off fraud watch, giving his team a 4-run lead. Scrambled Eggs, you may have what you want in the worst way possible, as this won't be a 1-run game unless you turn up big in the next inning, and Petey Piranha's done. Petey Piranha is not facing more batters after that. The pride has been thoroughly shut down.
Green Magic Koopa also finding a good spot, and at this point it's all damage control. It's one big grand slam away from the Scrambled Eggs, so it's not inconceivable, but it is incredibly difficult. I mean, Petey Piranha is a great second baseman, so at least the fielding isn't messed up. But Wiggly will have to get under that ball, catches it, and the fire won't hit, so that's out number 1. Baby
It's
Daisy
one of the first
now.
times in a while we've seen Red Yoshi not get on base.
Yeah. King Boo once again turns a double play that ends the offense for the Flowers, and it's all up to this. Can the Scrambled Eggs score 4 for the first time this game in order to stay in it?
Starting in the weakest part of their lineup, Yoshi, Baby Peach, Yoshi. Can they do it? Not like that. 1 out. 2 outs between them and loss. 4 runs between them and another inning.
Baby Peach, Baby Daisy has shown up so big, but can Baby Peach, you kind of want to see some charge from her. Oh, yes, she will find a great hit in order to actually reach first. I mean, the babies are so much better when they actually commit to a hit. Their slaps are so weak. And Baby Peach finds that gap. Now, can Yoshi follow up? A charge from him would actually also be pretty nice.
Watches 2, 1 ball, 1 strike. Third one coming in. It's a slap, and it will almost certainly be a double play to end the game. The Flowers take it into extras and exhaust the defense from the Scrambled Eggs just enough to come up big in the 11th and take the game 14-10. That crown on their icon resting on their heads as they take sole possession of the top of the league, with the Monsters having fallen to the Infernos earlier today.
Well, that's a barn burner. That is a hell of a barn burner. Heartbreak in the 11th as the Flowers are the team to outlast, and a very well-earned MVP from K. Rule, as after such a long game, I thought we were going to be playing on Yoshi Park Morning. The Flowers are the ones to secure it and stand very firmly still in second in the league. Actually, wait, first. Yeah, they're first in the league now, actually, off that win.
Yep, that's what I was saying.
Shit.
Sole possession with a run differential that will tie the Monsters. If the calculations here are correct. That puts them at 5-1 with a 16-run differential compared to the Monsters 4-2 with 16.
Well, that's a pretty great start for the Flowers after 6 playdays. The Scrambled Eggs, meanwhile, well, they'll fall down to a more humble 2-4 record. Still a positive run differential, but we're going to have to keep an eye on them heading forward for what they can actually... for what they want to bring into this league to climb those standings. The Flowers have found it. K. Rule, a big trade, comes up big after a very quiet Season 1 in Grand Slam Galaxy to do numbers for this team. And we gotta also throw flowers onto some other team members here. I think Red Yoshi is probably one of the most shockingly consistent slap batters that we see on this team.
I just want to look at Green Magic Koopa and Red Yoshi player here. They are awful batters according to their spring training ratings, and yet they have been showing up game after game after game for this team. They have put in the work to improve, I suppose. Or maybe they've just figured out the pitchers, and the pitchers haven't quite figured them out yet. Either way, they reach base far more often than anyone has any reasonable expectations for them to, and it's been doing wonders for these Flowers.
Quite a good start for them. Meanwhile, on the Scrambled Eggs side, King Boo continues to earn everything through that extra start, power potential. Petey Piranha continues to be a great slugger. Wiggler continues to be great. It's so many good players on this team. I mean, they went to the end of the earth versus the Flowers. It was just the Flowers that managed to outlast them a little bit. And when you're fighting the top team in the league to a standstill like this, losing on the last drive, you still have to take some pride away at the end of the day and say, yeah, we're a playoff level team. We just need to do a little bit of refinement here and there, do a little bit of changes, and this is looking like they could be one of the best. Going off today alone, this could be a fantastic team in Grand Slam Galaxy.
I absolutely believe in the Scrambled Eggs potential. I kind of want to see them just shift their batting lineup a bit. If you go back to them.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. But.
If you don't mind, I just little bit of commentary here. Look at where their strong batters are. Like, of today's performance, their strongest bats came from King Boo batting first. Okay, that's great. PD Piranha batting 7th, and Wiggler batting 9th. Now, if you want to chain chemistry, and you absolutely do, it's understandable to have those breaks. But, listen to me on this one. Just take the entire team as you have it here, shift it over 3 places. King Boo 4th, PD Piranha 1st, Wiggler 3rd, Blooper 2nd. And the entire order remains the same as it is, but just, like, shift it. And suddenly you've got a top 4, like a first 4 batters that are a massive threat. They're generating most of your threat. Lead off the game like that.
Well, we'll see how the Scrambled Eggs come home. I mean, that shift in play style would definitely be an interesting one to see, or shift in the batting order will definitely be an interesting one to see. And as they go down to a 2-4 record, maybe some changes will be in order for this team. Our next game, though, will determine whether the Monsters stand alone at 2nd as the Flowers have marked out their place in 1st. No, one of these teams will be the new 3rd place team. They won't be able to overcome the Monsters in run differential, but one of them will be at a 4-2 record, as the Rotten Eggs will be taking on the Monarchs.
It's not technically impossible for them to overtake, but it would have to be one hell of a blowout.
It would have to be an incredible blowout, and to be fair, Daisy Cruiser is the place to do it. But the Monarchs are a defensive team, and, well, we'll see how well the Rotten Eggs are able to do. We hyped up earlier in this Playday the Infernos trade for Mario, and Mario showed up pretty well on the pitcher's mound, being exactly what the Infernos needed. The question now, without that pitching consistency, where do the Rotten Eggs stand? And is a newly starred Firebro the batting power they need? I'm going to tackle the Monarchs, and I would love to hear you talk about the Rotten Eggs in a second. With the Monarchs, they have not changed their batting lineup yet, and it doesn't seem to have mattered for them. I talked low of this team in the first 2 play days, and the storyline that I'm trying to enforce is that they've shown me up, going on a 3-game winning streak, starting with a hell of a bobble by King Boo on Daisy Cruiser in order to squeak that game out, seemed to light a fire under this team's pants as they then went on to beat the Revenge on Junior's Playroom 7-5 and beat the Infernos on Daisy Cruiser 6-4. So, they've had 2 great games on Daisy Cruiser that have led to wins, and they've shown up the Revenge, one of those teams which we're looking at as a big team heading forward. Now, we have to see whether that extra batting power that is now on this Rotten Egg squadron with Firebro breaks this team, or whether these Monarchs really are somehow turning Daisy Cruiser into a defensive showcase stadium. Meanwhile, Silver Lily, what can you tell me about the Rotten Eggs and where they stand?
Well, I think the biggest thing we have to talk about is something we have already mentioned, and that's that the Rotten Eggs were the beneficiaries of the other end of the Mario Firebro trade with the Infernos. Mario serving as a pretty solid pitcher now for, reliever for the Infernos in their dominant win over the Monsters today, and the Rotten Eggs have taken their star power and put it on their new player of Firebro, hoping to just guarantee those long slugging shots that made Firebro worthy of being a first-round draft pick. This is a team that absolutely can pack a lot of power. Birdo and Wario aren't known as the biggest slugging captains, but they absolutely have it in them to put it over the wall or at least deep into the outfield. And now with not just Salamander, not just YP, but Firebro, starred Firebro, this is a terrifying slugging lineup. But where they star in slugging, they kind of lack in outfielding. Their infield is amazing, but they are running a yellow outfield based pretty solely on being able to run that Jersey player in the center, and those outfields are known to crumble quickly when it's time for pitching relief past the captains. They also just don't have the fastest players. Yellow Toad is fast, Statler is good enough, and Shy Guy, well, the Shy Guys are known better as infielders than outfielders. I think that is this team's primary weakness right now. This could be a good stadium for them in that regard, as having a little bit of a weaker left and right field doesn't matter as much because buddy jumps don't tend to happen on this stadium anyway. But
Well,
it's still something the Monarchs might be looking to take advantage of.
we'll have to see. I mean, Daisy Cruiser is an interesting pick for them because if they're able to take advantage of it properly, I mean, you don't need to be a big slugger to score big on this stadium, and we'll see whether that is, in fact, in the Monarchs' favor. The Rotten Eggs and the Monarchs, the third and fourth place teams, face down to see who stays at the top of the leaderboard and who starts to tumble back down, or in the Rotten Eggs case, continues to tumble back down. A team facing its struggles versus a team on its hot streak, we see which trend continues as we head to Daisy Cruiser.
Now, as we mentioned with the trade, the Rotten Eggs are trying to make changes in order to stop the slump. Let's see if it works out for them, because the Monarchs are keeping in their consistency. I don't know if they've edited their team anything, whether it's fielding positions or batting order, since very early on in the season, if at all.
Yellow Toad will start off for the Rotten Eggs with a good single to put a winner on. And Birdo now against Toadsworth. This will actually be an interesting storyline to see play out over the course of this game, is how long can Toadsworth last? The Monarchs have great pitchers in the quality of their pitch. Yeah.
That's a home run.
Yeah, that's a 2-run homer. Okay.
And that's what I was talking about with this field. Buddy jumps don't happen on the left and right field. It's already one of the hardest spots in a stadium to make a buddy jump happen, to stop a home run, and it's even harder on this stadium where the outsides are brought in and the length is lengthened further. I can't describe it right now. You take it from here, Willie.
I get what you mean. Those corners of the field and left and right field brought in, that center field. Basically, I'm not sure if it's actually extended or if it just feels extended because of how short left and right field can be. Wario, though, hits a good slap after a little bit of stumbling from Yellow Shy Guy. And Toadsworth, what I was trying to talk about was the storyline of Toadsworth as a pitcher and how long he could last. And it turns out that when you face down one big 2-run homer, when you face down a hitter the quality of Wario, it's hard.
Yep, Toadsworth, a longtime veteran pitcher, has the skill, but doesn't have the stamina anymore. Has had some long games with the Monarchs defense backing him up, but this might be the team to finally make him crack early again.
Well, Blue Critter wants to take a crack early with a big swing. Yellow Shy Guy is hesitating, so I assume this is in? Yes. Statler,
Yep.
the one to catch that one.
Good call from Shy Guy and Statler. We've seen calls like that go wrong before. Monarchs will need to find something if they want to start off as explosively as the Rotten Eggs did.
Well, the Rotten Eggs got one big 2-run homer, but the rest of their offense kind of fizzled out shortly after that. So, I mean, 2 runs, I almost hardly count 2 runs as a lead in Grand Slam Galaxy. This is actually just a thing for me that's existed like since the CPU Classic. 2 runs is like the line. If you've got more than a 2-run lead, you've got a pretty solid lead. 2 runs is right where I mark it as like a fragile lead. And now, with a runner on first, runner on second, and Blue Noki up, the Monarchs have an opportunity, but Berto reels it in to turn the double play.
And you've got 2 opportunities to reel in on the infield now for this Rotten Egg squad. I'm getting my team names mixed up today, Willie. I don't know what's going on.
Well, what's going on is that I never bothered to make a custom team.
No. I was going to call them the Infernos for a second. You don't
okay, well... Yeah, I didn't understand how bad that was. Salamander with a big line drive, but is caught out by Toadette in center field. Toadsworth is choosing to remain on the mound here against the combo of Thermite and Firebro. I didn't even realize maybe this team should be the Infernos. There's a lot of fire on it. Thermite will ground out to Blue Pianta in that shortstop position. So it's the new kid, Firebro, to see how well he's able to perform.
Now, Star Power isn't gonna save his weak slapping. One of the reasons the Infernos traded him away in the first place. Not the best starting performance, but there's still plenty of game left to play for Firebro.
And now we get to a very scary slap-happy section of the Monarchs. I mean, we talked about the Infernos' small ball potential earlier. I would argue that if there's any team to rival that, it's the Monarchs. They have a little bit of a weak spot in maybe Toadette and Toadsworth, but the rest of the slap batters on this team have more than proven themselves. Okay, Blue Noki is also on this team, but their numbers have always come through.
Occasionally.
Their numbers have always come through small ball, and Blue Pianta and Blue Toad both successfully getting hits brings us to, well, what I call the wicked section of the lineup, but we'll see if Toadette and Toadsworth are able to prove themselves.
Toadette starting it off, firing it over Firebro's head, and it's with some fielding issues, is gonna be good enough to bring 1 home, not a second. Blue Toad caught in a jam, makes his way back to third safely, but Toadette with a long double definitely shows up there.
We definitely don't expect Daisy Cruiser as a small ball type of field, but the Monarchs start off their offense with a runner on second, a runner on third, 1 run driven in, and the ability to tie the game off Toadsworth's scepter?
It's kind of a scepter, yeah.
How does he use that as a walking stick? It's as tall as him.
Maybe he's got an extension on it for baseball games?
Maybe. Well, it's good enough for a single that will actually bring in 2 RBIs, as both Blue Toad and Toadette are more than fast enough. Off a weak hit to the pocket, successfully managed to bring in 2 more, and the Monarchs are now in the lead off of what I dissed as a weak part of their offense. Every time I insult the Monarchs, they get a little bit stronger.
Please stop praying for my grandpa, except it's please stop insulting my baseball team.
Please stop dissing the LA Dodgers. They just won another World Series. And now, off that double play, the bases will be cleared, but Blue Critter wants to remind the Ron Eggs what type of team they're up against with an excellent solo shot homer, extending the lead for the Monarchs. And, well,
after this game, you gotta wonder if the Monarchs are ever allowed to play on Daisy Cruiser again.
You gotta wonder. It's only a 2-run lead. I said 2 is my line for where I really consider a fragile lead. But Thermite, as a Jersey player who is supposed to be so strong in that position, getting tight in the bottom of the second is very quick. And you got to imagine the Ron Eggs are missing a pitcher with the stamina of Mario.
Narissa able to get on base again, and this has been a big inning for these Monarchs. I think all 4 points, and we started with them, Narissa on base, if I'm remembering correct. No. We started near the end of the lineup. So it's not quite been a round batted, but we're getting closer here.
I think Blue Pianta was
stepping
the first
up.
batter.
This might be their best bet to end the inning, and it is.
I think that was all 9 batters. I think Blue Pianta started the inning last time, which means it's now up to the Rotten Eggs to strike back or else face an even more dangerous position.
It was absolutely all 9 batters, 4 runs, 3 out, 2 on when the third out was scored.
Yep. Well, YP with a pop fly to center field, caught out by Toadette. A lot of speedy outfielders turning out good for the Monarchs, and now it's back to Yellow Toad at the start of this batting order.
Yellow Toad finds the good slap, puts it down just past the infielder of Blue Pianta, and gets another single. This is how the Rotten Eggs offense started off in the first place. Yellow Toad got on, Birdo put it over the wall. If they can do that again, it will tie them up. Birdo this time fires it out to center for another single.
This is a dangerous position. Yellow Shy Guy very quickly got out last time he was at bat. Can he avoid the infield? If he does, the Rotten Eggs are in a great position. If he gets out now, it's a big trouble.
Depends on the kind of out, because it will bring Wario up, but it's another shot up the center. Yellow Toad's going for home. Will he make it? It looks like he will, off that close play.
Well, that
now
was...
it is 2 on and 1 in.
I just need to start insulting all the baseball players in this league. I just need to start dissing them one by one. Go down, and we'll see the quality of the play improve even more. Though this might be the end of it. With Peach coming to the mound as such a great pitcher against Wario, the Rotten Eggs will be put into a very, very difficult position as Fire saves the double play.
That was a sniper shot of a fireball. Shy Guy was right there, might have gotten hit, but it did just barely manage to hit Blue Critter and keep the bases loaded. Peach is an excellent pitcher, but like so many in the league, she has stamina issues. If they can score here, it could mean big trouble for the Monarchs' complete game, and an uncharacteristic bobble by Toadette doesn't really mean much, but it's gotta be embarrassing. Bases remain loaded as Birdo touches home.
With only 1 out on the field, Salamander... I thought that was going to be a beanball. Salamander isn't the type to hit it to the infield. It's a big hit, but it should just be a sac fly. Yes, Yellow Shy Guy will run home. That does mean it's another point, and it's the Rotten Eggs back in the lead, which is good news for them. Don't get me wrong, it's good news, but it's not terrible news for the Monarchs either, as they're looking just to escape this inning with as little damage as possible at this point.
If 2 runs is vulnerable, then 1 run is definitely worse.
1, and this is true, children watching at home who shouldn't be watching because I've sworn several times, is less than 2. Finally, Thermite grounds out to Blue Critter at second base. And
who gives a shit if children hear a fucking swear? What are you, a goddamn Protestant?
It wasn't funny until you called me a Protestant. Then it was really, really funny. Now, 1 run up. The Rotten Eggs have to swap back to defense, and Blue Pianta, with a big deep hit, saved by the Fire. Well, turnabout is fair play, as the Monarchs and Rotten Eggs both rely on their defensive item play. Thermite is chased off the mound, though, and Birdo is brought in from that shortstop position, meaning that there's a slightly weaker pitcher with an excellent star pitch.
Solid slap by Blue Toad will be another single. Birdo has got to try and stop this inning from turning out like the last one. Toadette was the first one to hit a scoring, like an RBI during that inning, but a big triple play. Thermite taking that diving catch, and with the help of Firebro, able to get 1, 2, 3 outs, ends the inning in the midst of what was looking like another Monarchs small ball push.
That was a quick one, and that's the danger of small ball. When you go for big hits, worst that can happen is that you end up with 1 out on the board. 1 weak small ball hit and suddenly triple plays are so possible. Firebro nails it straight back, but it stays inside the stadium, and Toadette is able to get under that one for out number 1.
I think it's definitely a longer stadium. I think that would have been out on most other fields. Like, that would have been out of the park.
It's really hard to tell. Maybe? YP
with the big hit. Pow block does not come out in time, and that fast Toad outfield is able to secure the ball.
Chance for the Monarchs to bring this one away, 3 up, 3 out, if they're able to get Yellow Toad out for the first time in this game. But no, once again, the consistency gets a single and brings Birdo up. Birdo has been responsible for a run at both at-bats, once with a big 2-run homer, and now again another big 2-run homer. For the second time this game, the captain follows up a slap from Yellow Toad to bring in 2, both times off the right side of the cruise ship. Birdo, this is true. Every at-bat so far, Birdo has touched home plate. Because she had a home run, and then she was brought in by an RBI, and then she had another home run.
Shy Guy will end the inning, but this is starting to build into a pretty decent lead for the Rotten Eggs. Plenty of baseball left to play. Monarchs have been able to show up with a big inning so far.
Toadsworth is a fine place to start this batting order. He's not able to evade the infield, but any runners on the base for Blue Critter is a boon. Can Princess Toadstool provide that runner that would help the Monarchs so much? She will, with a good grounder up to center field. So now we gotta wonder, what can Blue Critter do? Well, Birdo says, I'm not gonna let you do anything on pitch number 1. But will she continue with these suction balls? No. Blue Critter, though, an uncharacteristic, weak slap, fielded relatively easily by Thermite at shortstop, returns to double play, and the Monarchs are shut down for a second inning in a row. They'll need to find that small ball success in the 5th, but before they do that, they need to shut down the Rotten Eggs offense.
Starting off with co-captain Wario, one of the 2 standing captains after the Mario trade. He gets out right away. Toadette right under that fly out the center. But Statler hits a good one just over the head of Blue Critter, who does not make the jump for it. And it'll be good enough for a single as Salamander comes on.
Salamander, I don't think has actually touched base yet so far this game. Will his fortunes reverse? Not with a hit like that, as Blue Noki and Toadette get under it, catch the attempt at a big hit, and throw the ball in before Statler's even able to think about running for second.
Salamander really wanting to replicate Blue Critter's success at that plate, but has not been able to find the right angle to put it over the side of the boat.
So now it's Thermite. Can he put Firebro in a decent position? He will, with a good slap up the middle, and now we have to ask the Rotten Eggs, was Firebro a good trade? You've got 2 runners on. This should be the point for the man to come up big. Can he?
Charges up, but that fastball is wicked from Peach. Finds it. It's a long ball. This is a difficult outfield. Is it too high? It is. And that's a 3-run home run from Firebro.
I think the extra star juice was all that was keeping that out of Toadette's glove, as it escapes the outfield by inches and moves the Rotten Eggs up to a 6-run lead.
Pitching woes begin for the Monarchs as Blue Shy Guy is brought off of first base to serve as the reliever for Princess Peach.
YP wants it, but isn't able to replicate the success of Firebro, this time being caught out by their attempt at a big hit to left field. That still means the Ron Eggs enjoy a 6-run lead that the Monarchs need to make up. And now all of us are looking at Yellow Shy Guy in right field and saying, don't do it. It'll be funny, but don't do it.
You don't... The scrambled eggs are already in pain, Willie.
I'm just...
Oh wait, no. The last time a bobble happened like that, was it against them, or was it in their favor for once? It was against them, wasn't it?
No, the scrambled eggs had that. There was a second bobbled home run. I don't remember who it.
Wasn't it Toadsworth?
Maybe.
No, Toadsworth got the grand slam. So I remember that. Toadsworth got the grand slam off the bobble.
Okay, we should give props to this Monarchs offense. Blue Shy Guy off a star hit finds the angle to bring Narissa home, and that's 1 run to bring it down to a 5-run deficit with no outs.
We have
no outs
clip.
So far.
It was King Boo bobbling a go-ahead grand slam off Toadsworth in a game that ended with a 1-1 difference.
And then in another Playday, I don't remember which one, there was another bobble that led to a home run. I just don't remember where it was. Still though, Firebro catches out that attempt at a line drive, and Blue Pianta will successfully hit to put runners on the corners. Yes, Blue Pianta touches up safely at first. So now Blue Toad, who's been so unstoppable just like Yellow Toad on the Ron Eggs, and the Monarchs are playing full-on small ball here.
Small ball has been their success here in this in today's game in the Galaxy League, and they're going to load the bases now for Toadette, who you've been down on her before, but she's already had a decent showing. This is her 3rd at-bat? 4th at-bat? I think it's her 3rd.
She's been doing pretty well this game.
Birdo puts a little star power into it, trying to throw Toadette off, but Toadette will keep calm, find the slap, take 1 RBI on a single.
The Monarchs off their small ball with potential to bring this all the way back. I do want to bring up, they're only 1 grand slam away with Toadsworth up. There's 1 out on the board. Any double play ends this inning, but Toadsworth says it's not going to be me. No, he is!
Yes, it will.
Blue Toad.
Excellent fielding by Statler, catching the ball for the out and turning it around to the infield, not only in time to dodge the POW block, but in order to actually get the double play.
I'm very surprised that Blue Toad was not fast enough to touch back up safely, and now it's Yellow Toad who continues, well, the Toad excellence of another single, touching up on first.
Charge hit from Birdo will send it towards left field, just on the edge of left and center. It's good for a single that advances Yellow Toad all the way to 3rd. Runners on the corners now for Yellow Shy Guy.
Birdo has touched home plate every single attempt so far, but not this time, as she'll be caught up in a double play off Yellow Shy Guy's bat. And Yellow Toad, will he be stranded at 3rd, or will Wario be able to bring him home? There's 2 outs now against the Ron Eggs.
Give some credit to Blue Pianta there. Made a pretty good slide catch for the play. Slide catch, dive catch, whatever you want to say. Wario needs these bananas to disrupt Toadette. Will she keep her cool? She will do enough. Sends the ball over to Blue Noki with that chemistry in order to guarantee the out. Bananas unable to disrupt the play due to the power of friendship. And for the first time in a little while, the Rotten Eggs walk away from an inning without a point, and Birdo does not score for the first time of her going up to bat.
Peach also getting a single means that there's an opportunity to cut this lead down to only 2 if Blue Critter is able to make good contact. It's good contact. Statler and Yellow Toad are there. Yes, they will catch the home run attempt and keep Peach at first, and that's the big slugging potential from the Monarchs, but they still have the small ball potential to keep shrinking this lead. I swear to God, for a fraction of a second there, I thought Thermite was hitting me with like the OK hand symbol, and I was really ready to get mad. Regardless, Narissa, who's been good so far, a good hit to right field. Boo assisted. Peach is running home, and she'll get there with plenty of time. Means that that is a... Sorry?
It could have... That could have been a lot closer. I think if there was chemistry between the infield and catcher there, that was an out. But there isn't. Peach makes the slide in with like a second to spare.
Only one out now against the Monarchs. Narissa's pretty safe at second base, and Blue Shy Guy continues it. Narissa did think that was going to get caught out by Thermite. Wasn't sure if the dive was going to be made, so stays at second. Fair enough. But it puts the runners in a little bit more of a precarious situation for Blue Noki.
Yeah, runners on first and second means an out at every base except home, but there won't be an out at any bases because Noki hits it over to Yellow Toad in left field.
Blue Pianta has been so consistent this game. With a runner on first, a runner on second, one good slap could easily bring in an RBI. Aim it right and it could bring in two, but Blue Pianta wants more. A big charge hit. It looks like they're expecting this to stay in. Yes, Statler makes the catch, and the Monarchs' attempt is cut just a little bit short. They get one on the inning to shrink the lead, but they're still behind by 3.
We have Statler, Salamander, and Thermite stepping up to be the first 3 for the Rotten Eggs in this inning. Salamander not performed great, but Statler's been a solid bat this game, and Thermite has been able to get on when it mattered for Firebro. Still, we'll see if patterns continue, or if it was just human tendency to notice a pattern where there isn't really one.
Well, it's a slap from Salamander, which will be a lot better and allow him to touch a sandbag for the first time this game. So now it's Thermite. Can he load the bases, or will he hit into a disastrous play?
Strike 1 off of Shy Guy's glove. And I do want to mention again that we are now on the 3rd pitcher for the Monarchs, and they don't have the deepest reliever pool. They're kind of in a similar position to the Infernos in that way. That was a good enough single from Thermite to drive in Statler from second, so it'll be an RBI single, just barely. Boo support I don't think helped there, so that was a pretty just clean play.
Alright, Firebro now has 2 runners on the bases. Shy Guy needs to find his way past him. Or will the trade try to make a mark in his debut game for the Rotten Eggs? It's a big hit, but it'll run foul.
Up against a much weaker pitcher than Peach, plenty of time to find these charge-ups and send them out of the park. Can the Toads even make it in time? They cannot. It might have been too high anyway, but we'll never know because it was out of there before Toadette was in the air.
That is now 6 runs.
The speed off that bat there.
6 runs off of Firebro's bat, and while we are in Daisy Cruiser, neither of them were off those close edges. Both of them were off the back to put his team now in a 7-run lead. This lead is almost entirely down to Firebro.
Gotta give the other players their credit, but Firebro absolutely making his mark on this game. The star power juicing up that bat that the Infernos were so disappointed with, and giving the Rotten Eggs an incredible slugging threat.
Now Narissa has to face a bunt from Toad that'll allow YP to reach second. Yellow Toad, who's been so consistent on the slaps, going for a bunt, but, well, it does advance the runner. It's only the first out. Birdo with a line drive. Does the power block get fired? No, but it's good enough.
Doesn't need to be. And with Blue Toad trying to cut YP off at home, that's not good enough. Birdo gets to second and YP still runs in. That was a good RBI double. Star hit from Shy Guy trying to change his luck in this game. Will not be good enough. Sends Blue Toad sliding back. But it's still an out. Another out on the Shy Guy.
Wario Slap is good enough to put runners on the corners, and we're right back where we started with Statler, who started off this inning with a good single. This time, though, he's not able to find the right angle and hits it right to Blue Critter for the third out.
Still, that was a 10-batter inning. You're pretty happy if you're the Rotten Eggs here.
Yeah. I mean, 15-7 now. The Monarchs need this offense to come alive. They need big slap plays. I mean, if they can actually get... Blue Toad actually caught out for the first out so far of this game for him. Will be out number 1. Can Toadette do better? That's looking pretty good. With Birdo starting to tire, the Rotten Eggs still have a pitcher left in Wario. But if Toadsworth and Peach can both get on base and line up some big hits from Blue Critter, or if the small ball can really come alive, both of those are outs for this Monarchs team.
Another star pitch from Birdo would secure the strikeout. Instead, a bobble from Thermite will allow Toadsworth to get on base, but a running choice from Toadette goes awry, and there's still an out on the inning. Birdo will step off after that little bit of chaos to bring Wario up, but it is now a 2 outs, 1 on situation. He just needs to make it through Peach.
I don't think we've ever seen a runner get out not at a base in Grand Slam Galaxy history.
That's definitely a very rare tag out. I don't know if it's the first one, but it is one of the only.
Peach being caught out by the shortstop does mean that the Rotten Eggs maintain their 8-run lead with 2 innings left to go, and it's do or die for the Monarchs, though you could argue it was do or die for them last inning. Now, they really need to shut down this Rotten Eggs offense more than ever.
Their highest scoring inning so far is a 4-run inning. If they can shut down the Monarchs, they will, or not the Monarchs, the Rotten Eggs, the Monarchs will still have to replicate that inning twice to tie it up. If they want to take it to extras, they have to, over the next 2 innings, allow no runs and score better than they or score as well as they have in their best inning in both innings. So far, they're accomplishing part 1 of that plan pretty well.
Yeah, Firebros attempted a home run given just enough play in the outfield for Blue, Noki, and Toadette to get under it, meaning that Salamander is the only batter to see success so far. Now, can YP change that for the Rotten Eggs? Yes, actually, that ball does touch down just out of Toadette's range. Go ahead, bunt, Yellow Toad. I dare you.
Yellow Toad will not go for the bunt this time, instead sending it far, but without run support. The ball does not touch the ground, and so even though he touched first, it will still be a no-run inning from the Rotten Eggs.
All right, Monarchs. You're starting at the top of your batting order. You've got 8 runs left to do and 2 innings left to do it. If there's anyone to start this march, it's Blue Critter. Line drive.
The line drive out to left will not be good enough. Sails right into the glove of Yellow Toad. And now Narissa steps up. Has been a pretty good performer in this game. Gets on base pretty often, but has been stranded a few times. Will get on base once more. Will Blue Shy Guy allow her to stay on, or does this turn into a double play?
This is such a weird game for the Monarchs and their morale heading forward because they've had this 3-game winning streak and they've shown so much small ball potential despite Firebow catching out the double play to end that inning. It's hard. The Monarchs are such a hard team to judge here. 7 runs has been very respectable for all the other games so far today, but 15 is just too much, especially if the Rotten Eggs are able to put on any more damage. Now that Birdo will be able to, she'll have to settle for only 2 home runs.
And I'm going to throw a much harder challenge at them than the one you threw at the Infernos. If they can score another... it's going to be really hard now. If they can score another 12 runs, they can tie the Monsters. If they score another 12 runs, they can tie the Monsters in run differential. But
No.
a quick 3-up, 3-down means that will not happen. Don't you just love when a team fails the challenge you're putting forth while you're trying to put forth the challenge?
Oh man, when has that ever happened to me? No, it's a big deficit for the Monarchs. They would need an insane scoring inning, the likes of which we've not seen
Wait, no,
from
it
them
wasn't
so
12.
far this season.
It wasn't
What's
12.
up?
They needed 9.
Oh,
It was
well, that's
easier
so
than
much
I was
more
making
doable.
it out.
Blue
It's possible
Noki,
now, though.
Blue Noki, the first batter, caught out for out number 1. Blue Pianta and Blue Toad are such consistent hitters. When they slap, I say, as Blue Pianta starts charging up something, but no. A weak slap, actually.
A weak slap kind of still puts lie to your statement. I mean, you're not wrong, but in this particular case, you look very wrong.
I look a little bit silly. Now as Blue Toad comes up against Wario, smacks it right to second base, and it's a little bit of poetry as the traded player, Firebro, is the one to catch the last out, is the one to score 6 runs on this game, and the Rotten Eggs, well, they settle a storm on the waters as they take Daisy Cruiser over the Monarchs.
First team to do it, third one to try. So you gotta give them plenty of credit for that, because this has been looking like the Monarchs' home field this game, or this season. Not quite able to make it happen. Birdo gets the MVP. I wasn't expecting that, but honestly, she made a lot of important runs early into the game. Didn't have the 2-3 run bombs like Firebro.
Yeah, we're
But-
gonna have to look at this one. Huh. I mean,
Put up a good enough performance. Just consistently got on base, consistently touched home.
yeah, I mean, she did great. I'm a little bit surprised, I will admit, but still. Let's cover these Rotten Eggs real quick. After a rough last couple of games where it looked like they just couldn't find themselves, this Firebro trade has worked out tremendously, at least in this game where he's come up as a big hitter. We've talked before about the Bros and about how if they don't show up, they can feel like such a drag on your team's morale. Because when they show up big like this, when they get those big home runs that you want, it's great. But when you look at your big sluggers and they're just not able to do much and they're getting caught out, like, that can hurt the entire rest of the team's morale and lead to some weaker plays. So it's a good start for the Firebro on the Rotten Eggs. And both teams of the Infernos and the Rotten Eggs seem to benefit from their trade.
Absolutely looking mutually beneficial so far. First game played with it in effect. We'll have to see how each of these teams continue to do going forward. But right now, I'd say they're pretty happy.
Meanwhile, the Monarchs, well, their winning run is broken. They'll fall back down to a 3-3 score line. Oh my god, Toadette MVP. Wow. Jesus, Toadette did so much this game.
I can't argue with that.
That's
Toadette
kind of
was
fair.
amazing this game.
Fun fact, or a quick reminder, Toadette was the first overall pick in the draft. The Monarchs had first pick, and they picked Toadette first. No, sorry. They were just the first pick for the Monarchs. I lied to you on accident. For some reason, I really thought that Toadette was the first overall pick, but I lied to you.
The first overall was Firebro.
Yeah, no, the Monarchs were pick number 6 in the draft. I just completely got everything wrong. Still, though, very consistent scores across the board, which is something that I've brought up before as being a great sign of a good team.
Absolutely, Willie. They are an amazing team. Their 3-3 scoreline after this game have all been pretty closely competitive games. They had a 3-run streak. It was snapped by the Rotten Eggs, who were on a 2-loss streak of their own. But this is still absolutely a team to contend with. The Monarchs being the middle of the pack is terrifying.
God. It's a hard bar to clear. And, well, we're in a bit of an awkward situation because there's only 2 teams. Well, the next 2 teams are, again, those bars that you look at and you think, how is anyone going to be... How is one of these teams even possible to be eliminated before they reach the playoffs? We're going to be heading to our last game of this Playday, where, in a shocking turn, the Wilds and the Revenge play each other on DK Jungle. And let me set the stage for this properly. The Wilds are one of the most terrifying teams in this league. They started out with DK and Hammerbow, the 2 slugging MVPs. Hammerbow, after not really performing, has been traded away for a slightly more consistent Boomerang Bow. Okay. But still, whenever we looked at their games, whenever we looked at their losses, we said, the Wilds are a great team. They just get a little bit of lack of luck. They have a little bit of a struggle. They brought the Monsters to a last inning barn burner of a game where the Monsters had to walk it off after being tied through to the very end. And they're looking incredibly strong. And they're 2-3. This team, the Wilds team, is 2-3. And then even more insane, Silver Lily, what's going on with the Revenge?
They're 0-5, Willie. 0-5 after going 2-0 in the preseason, looking like monumental threats. They have come up short in every single game. And I say come up short because only at 0-5, they have a better run differential than the 2-3 Wilds. They have a better run differential than the 3-3 Monarchs. They are -9 to those 2 teams -10 and -18. Now the Monarchs did of course just lose their 6th game played. But with a tied record, they have in 6 games played, they have a worse run differential than the 0-5 Revenge. These have all been incredibly close games that the Revenge just barely weren't able to turn in their favor. And now the target of Diddy Kong's revenge is in his sights. And the team has reacted accordingly. Look where the star power is, Willie.
Oh my god, it's on Diddy Kong.
It is on Diddy Kong.
This is going to be interesting also. I mean, we've got such an interesting rivalry here. These teams actually played against each other in the preseason, where the Revenge struck the first shutout in Grand Slam Galaxy history by defeating the Wilds 5-0 on Bowser Jr.'s Playroom. Gonna be a lot harder to do that, but still, the Revenge is such a good preseason where they won both games. They've gone 0-5 since then. Both of these teams need this game so bad. The Wilds want to be back up to that 500 win-loss record, and the Revenge want their first win in this regular season. They've not been able to find it yet, and it's up to them to power through all that anger towards the Wilds, all that anger towards the league, and seal the deal.
And I will comment on something here that I actually think is a little bit important. We've got maybe a little bit extra resiliency from this Revenge team. Monty Mole has been taken off the pitcher's mound and off the roster entirely for the moment. Monty Mole has been returned to the bench to bring up Eggman once more. Starting pitcher instead now is Neru, who is expected to go to the outfield once she's tired and bring in Diddy Kong for the pitching relief.
This is going to be a very interesting new look Revenge squad, as each week they just swap up just a little thing and they look just a little bit better. But who brings it home? Can the Revenge score their first win, or can the Wilds show off to the rest of the league how strong they really are? Well, the Wilds get home field advantage, as to end Playday 6, we have a rivalry to define this league. The Revenge versus the Wild starts right now.
And it's in DK Jungle. I cannot think of a more appropriate field for this to be happening.
We could have, should have, would have scripted this, but no. The Wild said we might as well go to home territory to deal with this family dispute. So, Neru, what can she do against Reggie? Not much. The Revenge start off with a quick out at shortstop to Boomerang Pro. Well, that's funny.
This is another one of our big trades we've talked about. Now we get to see these two teams face off. We'll get to see which of these trades has worked out better for them in the head-to-head. Diddy Kong making good use of that star power, a line drive up the third base line, almost. We'll get him on to first, and Eggman hits a weak grounder to Shy Guy. Shell is not enough to disrupt, and while one did get on, it's still a 1-2-3 out.
The Wilds are very front-loaded in their offense with this Tato, Funky Kong, DK lineup. So, we kind of expect them to score early. Tato, though, is not the runner to do it, as she's quickly tagged out after grounding out to shortstop.
Funky Kong charging up is going to find it out into left center field. It's good enough for a single.
Okay.
Now Donkey Kong steps up. The star player for this team, known for being that scary slugger. There is a powerful outfield from the Revenge trying to shut down slugging players like him. Are they going to make it out there in time, and can they get high enough? They do! And the shot is fired back at Captain Donkey Kong.
That is exactly why you need outfielders like Paragoomba. Paragoomba, one of the few players in the league who work all on their jumping ability, given the title of a super jumper. And I don't know how else to categorize and try to maintain kayfabe here. But Paragoomba has some of the best hops in the league and is one of those players that are able to catch those high home run quality hits.
A good hit from Baby DK will keep the train going for now. Reggie steps up with one friend on, does not have synergy with Funky Kong or Tiny Kong.
Neru faced
or Dixie Kong,
Reggie.
for that matter.
Neru faced Reggie and grounded out. Reggie faces Neru and grounds out.
And grounds out. John Wick making the catch on that one. Stone cold killer he is.
Nerves of steel and a glove that'll make you think twice. Now it's time for the Revenge to restart their offense. Brown Critter's hit will go to the roots, but Tiny and Dixie are more than in position to catch that before some tricky bounces happen.
I still find the roots very interesting. I mentioned this back in the Infernos and Monsters game. The roots are very interesting because they will force buddy jumps in situations where the team might not otherwise go for them because the ball is in, but because they can't get under it, they'll actually go for the jump instead.
It can sometimes be safer when the opponent's item is a banana or something that can easily disrupt those pop flies. The buddy jump can be safer. So it's interesting to see. Green Dry Bones does successfully tag up on first off a good slap. Mr. Wick is not able to follow it up though. And the Revenge offense is starting very cold here, as they see nothing through the first two.
Gray Shy Guy performing in that second base position. Pretty popular spot for Shy Guys.
Shy Guys, I don't know what it is. I don't know how they're able to grab the hits that they do. And Boomerang Pro will get caught out by John Wick on first, who has great reflexes to get that one. But yeah, no, Shy Guys, I think, are having a hell of a breakout season in the infield.
Yep, we have 4 Shy Guys currently being fielded. 2 of them are at second base. That must be Peridot's favorite flower. It reminded Ollie of her girlfriend, you know?
Yeah.
The stun is not enough to allow Shy Guy to gain any extra bases, so it's still 1 on. Brown Critter making the diving catch to guarantee this is a 1-2-3 inning.
And it looks like, surprisingly enough, it's going to be a defensive standoff. At least it's starting that way. We'll see if that remains. Hammer Bro starting off this inning now for the Revenge after Boomerang Bro started the last inning for the Wilds. Well, now we get a direct batting comparison, don't we?
And it's a long bomb, but it looks like Tato's gonna be there in time to help Dixie Kong make the jump. Both bros get out on their first at-bat.
Okay. So, here's my question. Here's my curiosity. I'm taking a long, hard look at DK. I think DK is going to be the player to determine this game, and I don't know if Diddy Kong has that same defining potential, because we're going to be looking at maybe a very low-scoring game if these defenses keep up the way they do, and when you've got a defensive lockdown, it does tend to be the big sluggers that drive through more than small ball. So
You say that, Billy, but don't forget how this game played out in the preseason.
On a much bigger, much harder to home run field.
True enough, but I'm just saying, don't underestimate the Revenge's ability to play small or big ball when they need to.
Well, right now
the
they're doing
Revenge also had some home runs on that same stadium.
Fair enough. Right now, Diddy Kong, star power helping, runners in scoring position, the captain for the Revenge.
I want to see a star hit here, but there will not be a star hit. Boomerang Bro jumps early in order to make that catch, and even with 2 on, they're not quite able to bring it in. The Revenge have gotten runners in scoring position a few times, but it's always with 2 outs, and they're never quite able to bring them in. If they can tighten it up, get those runners on before the 2-out situation, I think we'll start seeing them score.
We will, but now we have to test the other side of the theory. Tiny Kong getting on base, Tato also getting on base with a good slap, and now the Revenge are in a very, very scary position as the extra flower and barrel. This is why I said earlier this Playday, DK Jungle might be the one exception where daytime is more disruptive than nighttime with those flowers. So Funky Kong and DK, 2 big sluggers back to back, runners on the corners. How long can the Revenge keep this up?
Slugger number 1 shut down. Will they be able to stop it from being a sac fly? The answer is no, even with Paragoomba's outthrowing speed. That is our first score off the Funky Kong sacrifice. The flower and barrel contributing enough to give Tiny Kong that run-in chance.
Alright, and now we pay very, very close attention to DK. Can Nair shut him down a second time? Hit, but it's too weak in contact, and it's no! Hammer Bro isn't able to get there. Brown Critter just whiffs.
Brown Critter, that's not even a star player thing. That was just an error.
A double.
The star player's Diddy Kong.
A double play denied right when the Revenge need it, and now, okay, it's still another double play.
Will be shutting this down. But that was a very odd one. One more batter got on base than really should have there. Hammer Bro might still need a little bit of work with the team synergy. Doesn't have bad chemistry, but whew, that was rough.
That was very scary, as Eggman now faces down Reggie, and his line drive attempt is caught out by Boomerang Bro.
Jumping catches always look so weird because the players are facing where the ball's gonna go a lot of the time. So it looks like they're just like stunting on him.
I mean,
that was a
cool.
Good long hit by Brown Critter. It's gonna stay at first, considered running to second, made it right past Boomerang Bro, who attempted to make that boomerang catch. Dry Bones up now, has been more of a slapper lately than a slugger. Still can do both, doesn't have the star power this time. Going for the slap, it's in a good spot. Pow Block is fired, it's worth the disruption, but doesn't gain much. Neither of them are very fast runners, and Brown Critter made the prudent decision not to go to third.
Mr. Wick not able to evade the outfield, but Boomerang Bro takes too long to reel it in and only gets 1 out. So 2 outs, 2 runners in scoring position, and Hammer Bro, who was traded from the Wilds, slaps it.
Maybe the better decision. It doesn't risk a buddy jump ending the inning, and instead they're able to run one in. I think some good decision making by Hammer Bro there to not go for the glory and instead just play for the team.
It definitely ties the game, and there's still a runner on third if Peridot is able to slap it in. Well, what can she do? Up against Reggie. She's caught up by Gray Shy Guy at second. That means that there's a 1-1 score line. The Revenge tied up, but they're not able to secure the lead.
Tries to replicate Hammer Bro's success, but isn't quite able to make it past Gray Shy Guy the same way. And now it is Reggie, Boomerang Bro, and Gray Shy Guy stepping up. Reggie already stepping down.
Boomerang Bro versus Neru in the bottom of the fourth. Line drive. Well aimed.
That's gonna be a bounce off the wall. Probably what you're hoping for when the ball goes that far out, but not that high against a team like the Revenge.
Oh, a very well aimed hit. Gray Shy Guy follows it up with a good slap of his own. And now with a runner in scoring position, well, fortunately for the Revenge, bad for the Wilds. It's a weaker section of the Wilds batting. Brown Critter is able to secure the double play, clear the threat, and end the batting for the Wilds.
Pretty good spot for the Revenge to be in. They gotta get through a slightly weaker part of their batting order, starting off with Ollie. Great defender, not so great of a batter, but has reached base once this game. Looks like I thought that it hit ground.
Yeah, no, I mean, even if it had caught ground, I think Boomerang Bro probably could have fighted it off soon enough. But wow, the shortstop and the second baseman.
Wilds. Very scary infield. Used to be that the Infernos basically had the exact same infield before the Firebro trade. Now up to star captain Diddy Kong to try and keep this inning from being 3 up, 3 down. Does manage to make it to first, so we will see the fourth batter of Eggman. If Eggman can make it through, that will put Brown Critter up. Another big threat, but that hit was right to the shortstop, and that will not be good enough to keep the inning going.
How long can the Revenge keep up their suffocating defense? They kept the Wilds to only 1. But, well, we still have to wait and see what happens. It's Tiny into Tato into Funky Kong. Tiny is not the most consistent batter, as shown by her quickly getting caught out by Hammer Bro. Tato is better than not.
Tato's in an interesting spot in the order here. A good hit over Hammer Bro's head. He made the jump but didn't make it this time. But Tato has synergy on the team with Dixie Kong.
Oh.
Dixie Kong.
Dixie
They have chosen to put her in a spot in the batting order where they're just kind of hoping she can do it synergy-less. Good double play turned by the Revenge infield will shut down that threatening part of the lineup and make sure Donkey Kong isn't here to play just yet.
Still
top of the 6. Oh, go ahead.
No, I mean, it's just such a dangerous position. It's a very good line drive from Brown Critter. It'll smartly stay at first, but next inning starts with DK. And might be over-focusing as Green Drybones wants to be the one to put it away. No. Caught out in the outfield. Brown Critter forced to return back to first.
I honestly think right now, while the outfield is built like it is, if you do not have that star power, you want to play small for most sluggers. Buddy jumps are quick and effective, and this is an outfield with speed. You have to take the hit to the ego and go for the single.
Well, speaking of big sluggers, if John Wick doesn't hit into another double play, we'll see Hammer Bro, and it does successfully pop over. Okay, run on first, run on second.
Now, Hammer Bro is a good enough slugger, potentially without star power, to put it over. Very few can.
That's gone. That's out of here.
That's gone. Tiny Kong is not making that there in time, and it is a 3-run home run. The Revenge fire the first shot, the first real shot of the game, to take a decisive lead over Donkey Kong's Wilds.
4-1 Reggie. That we should give credit to the pitchers. Reggie has been pitching since the start and has done a great job so far. Again, low scoring game, so a lot easier to hang in there, but still well played to Reggie. Now it's DK versus Peridot. Peridot won't see much on that attempt.
Wanted something, had a good hit over the infield, but just a little bit too much to be able to reach base. A good hit from Ollie with a POW block. It doesn't really matter, it's just a little bit of ego damage.
Now it's Nehru versus Donkey Kong. 1 runner on, 2 outs. You kind of expect this to be the end of the inning, but if it's not, which it isn't, well then we have a runner on first, runner on second, and Donkey versus Diddy.
Captain v. Captain. Star v. Star. Do we see a star pitch here? Do we see a star hit here? It's a fastball down the center. Here comes a second. It's a slap. It's past the infield. It's bases loaded. Diddy not showing off, but is showing up. 2 outs, bases loaded. Does anyone else come in? Eggman swings at the first pitch. It's a strike. Donkey Kong going for the star hit. Is he going to power through? It's a weak one, but the bananas disruption. Eggman isn't able to make it to first in time anyways. DK's cannon arm saves that part of the inning, but only barely.
That is quite, oh my god, Diddy and Donkey Kong, Diddy getting the hit, but then Donkey Kong turning around and saying this is a team game, and I can still shut down your team, little cousin. Big hit from Donkey Kong. This will definitely be testing the players on the defense. Yeah, no, super jump affects buddy jump. Do you see how long it took for Ollie to touch dirt? Yeah, if there's any...
help get you up there.
If there's any outfield that is purpose-built to stop Donkey Kong, it's the Revenge.
I mean, of course it is. It's the Revenge. POW block's not going to matter here and does actually fire off the ball before the barrel or flower trigger. That will prevent any extra bases, but it's still a single. Another good slap from Reggie. The Wilds trying to take some cues from the Revenge, trying to get some people on base. Here comes a slugger. It's long. Oh, a hit like that, that's a catch. Damn.
Okay.
These two aren't going for the okay, yes they are. Yes they are.
I also got really scared and confused about what exactly was about to happen there. But runner on first, runner on second, Gray Shy Guy. They're decent slappers, or decent hitters, but what can they find now?
It's a slap to Hammer Bro, and the end of the inning is what Gray Shy Guy digs up.
3 innings left, a 3-run gap. It's a solid lead, but is it good enough to keep the Wilds off the pace? Brown Critter wants to make it bigger. Big hit out to right field, but this one should be caught.
That's gonna be caught, though. Yeah, you could see it coming down. If they are able to open up a hole in the Wilds' defense, if they can get past Donkey Kong and take maybe Dixie Kong out of center field, then they have a chance with shots like that. But as long as that synergy is out there, nothing's getting past the nothing but Hammer Bro is getting past the Wilds' outfield. Dry Bones wants to take a shot at it as well. DK is starting to reach into that star power a little bit more. It's a good slap past the Shy Guy. POW block, they'll recover in time for it not to be a wild throw back, so it's just a single from Green Dry Bones.
Alright, another star pitch from DK on John Wick. He'll take the bait. The POW block hits DK directly, saving his infielders and allowing the double play to happen to shut down the Revenge. Don't tell me that's a big home run from Hammer Bro that decides this game. Still lots of baseball left to play, though, as Dixie Kong caught out for the first batter for the Wilds this inning.
Good jumping catch from Critter, Brown Critter, BK.
Tiny Kong's hit does actually touch the outfield and allow a single, which again means that there's 1 runner on for Tato. Now, if she can get on and put 2 runners on for Funky Kong and Donkey Kong, that's a scary position for so many teams to be in.
A slap like that's going to be easily caught by Hammer Bro, but it's too slow to turn and stop Tiny Kong too. We'll be seeing Funky Kong up if he can get on. As you were saying, it's very scary, but a long hit like that, it's off the back wall. There's a stun in play. Does Tiny Kong have time to run home? She doesn't. Donkey Kong in a very good position off that Funky Kong hit, but hasn't found the contact he's wanted so far this game. Can he tie it up? It's a line drive, and Ollie is there in time to shut him down. She has been all over Donkey Kong's hits this game.
4-1 scoreline. The Revenge lead heading into the last 2 innings. But it's not... It's a good lead. It's not a great lead. It's only 3. Hammer Bro starts off the top of the 8th, though, with a good slap to get on base. That will lead us into a weaker section of the Revenge's batting lineup as Peridot and Ollie step up. What can they do? DK says, not much, not when I'm pitching stars like this.
And with a bomb to try and disrupt, that will be a double play. Holly now has actually had pretty good luck at getting on base. We'll be seeing a repeat of that performance.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. It
oh,
it's a... No! It hits the pillar! It's an Ollie home run!
It's a pillar shot. It's a pillar shot. It's a pillar shot for 1. It's a pillar shot for 1. The Revenge are now at the same 5 runs they needed to beat the Wilds last time as they enjoy a Grand Slam margin of victory.
Nehru threatening to power through that DK star pitch. Instead, just going to take the slap. Shy Guy will field it, and that will end the inning. But, well, the Wilds now have to find some runs. They have 2 innings to find at least 4, and if they don't find 1, you were wondering if it was going to be a Hammer Pro home run that decided it. Ollie just said maybe not.
Baby DK with a big deep hit. The runners don't go there in time. Oh, what the fuck? What just happened?
I think they thought it was shallow. I don't think they thought it was going to go over until it was too late.
I'm not even sure. I think that home run was just so quick from BBDK. Because that was not close. That was far over. And
not
we're back.
The DK you're expecting to do a hit like that.
If Baby DK gets a home run and DK does not, I'm going to laugh all the way to the bank. Reggie, though, says another big hit. This one's just as fast. Diddy Kong does get there in time.
Maybe as fast, but the wrong positioning. Baby DK's was right up the center. This one had further to travel, and it made it so some of the running could be done by each player. Only a little bit from Ollie, but star player Diddy Kong able to make that sprint.
Boomerang Bro's line drive con out. Yeah. Oh, Boomerang Bro.
And it's, hey, Boomerang Bro is one of the reasons they have 2 points instead of 1.
All right, bit of a bobble, but it doesn't really matter. Great Shy Guy would have gotten a single off that in either case. And Dixie, and Tiny Kong now face down the Revenge.
If you're the Revenge, do you want to get the out on Dixie here? It doesn't matter. I was going to say, do you want to get the out on Dixie here, or do you let her on and try and get the out on Tiny?
I think
I think you get the out where you can get it. The Tiny Tato start hasn't gone very well for the Wilds this game. Last chance for Diddy Kong to face down Donkey Kong. Dixie Kong, former outfield teammate, will be the one to shut that down. Technically not the last chance, but likely to be. Eggman tries to power through it, succeeds, but still a dribble shot. The power block comes in time to disrupt the fielding. And Eggman will make it to first.
Donkey Kong starts to tire. You just need to make it through 2 more outs, Great Ape. And against Brown Critter, that's a little hard to do, but the first shot will run foul.
I just want to note something, Willie. Donkey Kong's getting tired. Diddy Kong's not stepped up yet.
Yeah, no, Nehru might pitch a full game here.
Nehru's been pitching a complete game. Nehru's staring down Tato and going, I can do it too. Tato pitched 2 or 3 complete games last season. I don't remember the exact count, but she pitched at least 2.
I'm so scared. This could technically... No, this can't end with a DK homer. Not with Tiny Kong getting out.
Not with Tiny Kong getting out. Tato.
Also
it's another
caught up by
Hammer Bro catch.
Don't tell me Hammer Bro gets all 3 outs to end this game. Don't do it to me. Don't. I got in trouble for making too much of a point about this. No, Funky Kong does hit a big one out to left field. Diddy Kong will make the catch.
Ends it. Won't even let Donkey Kong take his last shot. Diddy Kong says, "You're nothing. You're nothing compared to me."
Damn, alright, a little bit of fight. Okay, as long as the caster is giving it evenly to both sides. We reach balance and equilibrium by me trashing on the Wilds and you also trashing on the Wilds.
Hey, I gave Diddy Kong so much shit last season before he was benched.
And
I'm just leaning into the storyline here.
Of course, the Revenge finally, after 6 playdays, score their first win, and MVP honors go to Ollie for that beautiful pillar shot.
Argue that. The pillar shot and an absolutely devastating outfield performance that refused to let a single DK hit matter.
It was a beautiful, beautiful job from Ollie and a well-earned MVP. This time, the Wilds aren't shut out, but they still will lose after the Revenge managed to score 5. And if you include the preseason, the Revenge now have 2 wins and 0 losses to the Wild squadron.
Yeah, we cannot discount Ollie's batting performance. Actually, it was very consistent. It wasn't just that pillar shot. She got on base several times. Excellent fielding. Obviously, Hammer Bros' bomb was ultimately the 3 runs that did decide it because Baby DK tied it back up. But it wasn't the only thing.
Look, whenever Peridot and Ollie have come up batting order back-to-back, I've always said that Ollie seems like the stronger batter to me. And she's proven it. She's proven it in this game with a great performance. That big fielding score, 60, is not something that we usually see, and it will propel her team to victory by shutting down the Wild's offense and letting the Revenge get their first big win. Beautiful performance.
Powerful performance. Might be what the team needed to start clawing their way back into the season. This should be a big morale boost for them. So, let's see where they go from here. Everyone was saying this was better than a 0-5 team. Well, now they're a 1-5 team. It's not much, but it's a start.
Well, Silver Lily, the landscape of the league has been well and thoroughly shaken to its core as we pull up the standings for you after Playday number 6. The Flowers now stand alone on top of the mountain. 5-1 with a plus 16 run differential. They are looking incredibly scary as a team that has both all the defense they need and the offensive potential to send you running for extra pitchers. The Monsters suffer their second defeat and will drop down to that 4-2 scoreline. They'll remain in second by run differential over the Rotten Eggs, who redeem a little bit after a rough 2 games with a beautiful win over the Monarchs today to bring them up to third. Fourth place, the Infernos shoot up 3-3 with a -4 run differential, and the Monarchs will sit right behind them in fifth, bumped down from fourth by that loss to the Rotten Eggs. Still, 500 winning percentage, 3-3, -18, not doing bad at all. The Scrambled Eggs sit a little awkwardly with a positive run differential and a 2-4 win-loss record in 6th place. That bonus run differential might make all the difference for them the later the season goes, as they're having a pretty solid start. but need to find a couple more wins in order to secure their playoff position with full confidence. The Wilds, after that loss to the Revenge, will slide down to 7th, and we keep looking at them and wondering, well, the season's going to start and they're going to start tearing through some teams, but it hasn't happened quite yet. And the Revenge fall down, well, they stay at 8th, but they narrow the gap to only 1 record difference. One big Revenge win, and suddenly they could catapult themselves out of 8th and keep catapulting themselves up the scoreboard for the rest of this season. Storylines that you want to highlight coming out of this Playday?
Coming out of this Playday, I think the Infernos and Rotten Eggs trade, both of them winning their respective games after that, is something to continue to keep an eye on. Those teams took games against big rivals, the Monarchs being the other team that had been standing at 3-2, and the Monsters having been competing for first and still within reach of that first place. All it'll take is one good play day for the Monsters and one bad play day for the Flowers. Both of those teams are teams to keep an eye on. Everything is still close for the entire league. We're only on play day 6. And while we're starting to see the league fall into place, we've also seen big shakeups.
I still don't know who we can even look at and point at and be like, yes, this is a team where I understand, like, if they don't make the playoffs. All of these teams have the potential, and all of these teams are going to be driving through it. I agree with you looking at the big trade between the Rotten Eggs and the Infernos, and I want to highlight both those teams won their games pretty handily in thanks to their trade. The Infernos defense finally settling with Mario on the mound, though they did, okay, I'm kind of stretching it a little bit. Mario came in relatively late, but still did come in as a pitcher and help settle their defense a little bit. And the Rotten Eggs didn't win because of Firebro's big home runs, but it turned a squeaky victory into a strong one.
It went from a 2-run lead to an 8-run lead because of those 2 Firebro bombs, Willie.
It'll be very, very interesting to see what happens with this league. Thank you for joining us through Playday number 6. Let me give a quick preview. Playday number 7 will be on Tuesday, as Tuesday is always baseball day. In those games, the Infernos will take on the Wilds, the 4th team, versus the 7th team right now. Both of them very much need that victory. The Monarchs will take on the Flowers. If the Monarchs want to establish themselves as a threatening team, they'll have to do it against the best team in the league right now. The Revenge take on the Rotten Eggs. Both of these teams turning around a little bit. Both of these teams needing to get wins on the board. But which one's luck holds? And then finally, the Scrambled Eggs versus the Monsters. The Monsters are going to want to look to fire back and get themselves back into first place after a rough play day. Can the Scrambled Eggs hold them? Or will the overwhelming power of the Monsters, well, crack a couple eggs open? We'll find out on Playday number 7. Closing thoughts, Silver Lily?
This season remains incredibly competitive. I don't think we can look at a single matchup for next week and go, yeah, that team's gonna win. I don't think we can do a single one. Infernos v Wilds, both of those teams have shown the ability to show up or disappear. Monarchs v Flowers. The Monarchs have held amazingly offensive teams like the Flowers to very low scores before, while putting some of their own over the board. Revenge v Rotten Eggs. That's another slugging showcase versus a team designed to shut that down. But could go either way. All it takes is 1 or 2 good bats and a defense can crack. Scrambled Eggs v Monsters. Probably our biggest toss-up, but we just saw the Scrambled Eggs take the Flowers the current first place team to 11 innings. They've shown they have the potential to beat anyone. And to give everyone else a little bit of preview, they've already shaken up their roster after today's Playday. They have filed for some roster changes. So,
yeah, we're gonna have to see exactly what happens. Thank you everyone for joining us in Grand Slam Galaxy. Welcome back, Silver Lily. It's nice to have you.
Glad to be back, Willie, and what a Playday for me to come back on.
We will see you on Tuesday, August the 26th for Playday 7 and the official halfway point in the regular season for Grand Slam Galaxy. I've been your commissioner, Willie or Won'ty. This has been my co-commentator, Silver Lily. We will see you, and until next time, play ball, everyone. Good night.
Have a good night, everybody.